item for all Salon people and then party them. Sierra Leone Media will be bringing you a variety of programs ranging from documentaries to discussions, interviews, news, views, sports, and entertainment. Our programs will contain matters on development, governance, the economy, and issues that are of importance to Sierra Leone. So, no left BNO because we get Beberebe program then like Salon discussion, meets the ministers, the president's hour and the Gladi program, Look Me, I Look You. All this they start soon na www.sierragemedia.org. Now who's tem these?
Hill Valley Academy is a school that provides the very best opportunities for our students to develop, grow, and mature into young adults who are encouraged to become patriots as well as global citizens. We have high expectations and ambitions for all our students. We provide a caring, supportive, tolerant, and challenging environment in which all individuals can grow and flourish. A graduate of Hill Valley Academy is a well-rounded human being capable of making the most of what life has to offer. We actively encourage academic excellence with a sense of responsibility. We look forward to welcoming you to our school and to meeting you in the not too distant future, because together we achieve the extraordinary.
Love, joy, on another one. You know me cocoa butter, oh. Nobody love will change up. You don't reconcile me out, I'm not able to refuse them. I love you now. Only that's good and real love. Now you know me gold and me diamond. Now only you I go give everything, no. Me equal to zero without you. Now me don't be your hero. Life is sweet, oh, when you there with the right person, yeah. No more messy around you. Me to you, not to two is to one. Now wrong equation be that you, I don't feel fever, me heart's on the pull fire. Doctor say but bona for take a easy with love you. Me love it on the catch a fire, baby. Me love it on the catch a fire. 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 Come and solve them. Me love it on the catch a fire.
Yes, dog. No, not with tablets. Yeah, just touch me here.
Me love it on the catch a fire. 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 Come and solve them. Me love it on the catch a fire. You know me cocoa butter, oh. Nobody love will change them. You don't reconcile me out, I'm not able to refuse them. I love you now. Only that's good and real love. Now you know me gold and me diamond. Now only you I go give everything, no. Me equal to zero Now me don't be you hero. Nowadays, true love no easy forget you. So when you get never all of it to one. He say make I take a seat, I don't want. He say make I take tablets, I don't want. He say make I put you, I don't want. When I love you, I want you. Hey, doctor, tell me, me love it on the catch a fire, baby. Me love it on the catch a fire. Me love it on the catch a fire. Me love it on the catch a fire. Me medicine. Me love it on the catch a fire. Come and solve for me. Love it on the catch a fire. You know me cocoa butter, oh. Nobody never change ya. You don't reconcile me out. I'm not able to refuse them. I love you now. Only that's good, the real love. Now you know me gold and me diamond. Now only you I go give everything, no. Me equal to zero without you. Now me don't be you hero. Hey doctor, hey. Me love you, baby, oh. Yeah.
Yes, Doc.
Me love you,
Not with
baby.
tablets. Yeah? Just touch me here. Yeah. Yeah. I'm feeling it. Oh, Doc. Yeah.
It's original.
Yeah, Doc. Oh, no, stop. Not like this.
Hello, Fambulem. Una good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Sierra Media. We online broadcast, weekly broadcast on Facebook, YouTube, and other social media platforms. We want to say happy New Year to una all. And we hope say the year 2023 don't begin fine for we all. And we hope for a better year, progress, good health, peace, joy, you name it, all the good things. So welcome to our first broadcast for 2023. Me, una host, if you join me for the first time, my name is Najuma Ba. And of course, the Sierra Media team day with una today. And we guest from Sierra Leone, we not to stranger na also na irregular. Of course, we get T-Boy Duba and Femi Pama, Sierra team, and we're going to introduce we guest to na just now na how they go inside the Republic. Look how the year end and how the year don't start, because we all know how January can be. January not too funny month too, but we will talk about that as we go along. Sometimes things they don't change, and we guess they right inside Freetown, Sierra Leone, and they go come tell we how they go inside the Republic. But before that, take a welcome T-Boy to the program. Happy New Year and welcome to the first broadcast for 2023. Tell Famule Madu.
Happy New Year, Fambudem, and welcome to another edition of Sierra Leone Media Live on YouTube and Facebook. And I want to wish you all the best of 2022 and the usher on into 2023. We get for be the year of changes, the year of everything, not so just for me, but for you and for Sierra Leone. So basically, 2023 is a remarkable year in the history of Sierra Leone and in the history of people of Sierra Leone as well. So, and also we'll all look forward to 2023, whether in a positive way, in a negative way, in between, any angle. We still look forward to 2023.
You sure say they look forward to the negative one as well?
Oh yes, there is nothing positive without negativity. When I hide the negativity, it's very important, and I'm ready to deal with the negativity as much as I'm ready to deal with the positive aspects of 2023. So bring it on, anyone.
All right.
Positive. If you put the two sparks then together, you know what you get if you count two negative. So basically, don't wait for that. If you count two positive, one negative, you get neutral spark. But if you count two negative, then sure, I will make them positive. But if you count two positive, then the spark is always going to be a positive spark. So definitely, I look forward to all of that, and I really have to deal with each and every one of the elements in it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, T-Boy. Welcome, Sama Kuyate Wachwi, Yusuf Samba, and Ashma Bobo Jalloh. Now, all welcome, and all the invisible way they watch. Because also you can get, the sniper then, the one the way they watch behind the scenes, and Abraham Bangura. Yusuf, welcome to today's program. On that note, Femi go to join me later on. You can tell una adu and just know. But before that, let me welcome we guest for today's program, Mr. Usifu Jalloh, the cow footprints. We now a regular at this platform and all over. The man we believe say too hard for talk, but na no more they bring peace and to no get on him. Mr. Usifu Jalloh, welcome and happy New Year to you. Tell family Madu. And you look this New Year, so wait. You look down on, I don't know if now 15 or 20. I see some kind different glow business. I don't know. Welcome. Tell family Adu first. Look, you can't tell the secrets. Where you can with this New Year.
The secret, na post with the power, na Ashma Bobo Jalloh, na irresponsible. Ashma with the power, na irresponsible. Na oil, you go but my face will make my face not answer.
Who's guy oil? Madoni, na Thai oil, na Sanke Uswan.
Na cow butter oil.
Cow butter. I like that. Well, tell me family.
In that with them, they say, Masanke boy, Masanke boy.
No,
right it's now, good to see you and tell Fambule Madu, glad for see you. As always, tell Fambule Adu and tell we how you don't they do and which you don't they up to, for the few months they will not don't see you. We don't password only, I mean not see. Password is used to 2023.
That's correct. It's been over 1 year now since we kind of put the culture show on a pause while we work on many different things. And I want for great family, they all tell me all plenty cushion. And I want to also know for say while the culture show don't be quiet on Sierra Leone media, that not mean say we not do a lot of work underneath. There's a lot of very, very important work where they go on right now. Even while as still in Sierra Leone, so there's a lot of important work where they go on, where get for affect the culture show in the long run. Okay, so when I sit tight by God in power, where I return back na London, there's a lot of new things I need for really go put together there, and we come on full force, and we therefore need so much of our support for help things move on, and especially having been here now in Sierra Leone for the past almost 2 months now. I'm around in Sierra Leone. There's plenty of things in the women they see where some really they get you excited, some get you so frustrated, and some just get you downright sad, pathetic. So it's such a mixture, which hopefully we'll discuss more today because hopefully we'll discuss as much of it today as possible. But yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much, and we look forward to an exciting, discussion. And we will touch a little bit about, the cultural side, because festivities always come with that. Then I saw a few things which I don't know much about until you read a few tongues, until you follow and get some insight to Igbo on that. Then before we go into proper how they go inside the republic. But Tiba, I see get with regulars them and a lot of new people them. Abdullah Suma, Frederica, welcome and happy new year. Francis Langley from Liverpool. He said T-boy, long time brother. Yusuf looking fresh. See, all man they notice. All man they notice the cowboys are the work, Sama Bangura, Arthur. Una all welcome. Mahmoud Sise, Abraham Bangura, una all welcome. And all the invisible them both on YouTube and Facebook. So Yusuf.
Tell Mr. Langley. Tell Mr. Langley, please, because I don't avoid short abu.
You don't avoid short abu. So now long abu you deal with now.
Not long abu.
You deal with long abu. Mr. Langley and see there. So now long abu now in the rule now. I don't forget.
Long abu na mampama.
Yes. From God to man.
Wait. From God to man, yes. Yeah. I'm going to take shot. Long abu.
Long abu. The pegede. Yes. So, Yusuf, I see Christmas. I see you there not around that festive time day, where the big one we say at Christmas. Is it the same as before than a one? Then two, I saw a Caribbean soca kind parade na beach. I don't Usifu Jalloh will join me back just now. But T-boy, as I may ask you, yeah, I don't know if you self-observe anything or you don't get any feedback about the holiday. We know the married business, then the JC business and all of that. But hold on, Yusuf don't come back. Yusuf, welcome.
Thank you.
So before we get a break, I apologize. I will ask you about the festivities. Is it the same? And also the Caribbean soca parade? Because, I just saw some pictures, but I don't get much detail. So I want to hear your viewpoint on that.
Okay. First of all, I mean, I've not been present at all for the Caribbean event, which I really, really like. I also got it. I missed the Caribbean event. But I did see some of the pictures. Them. I did see some of the videos. Them, and I did talk to a few people. We actually every feedback I get on the Caribbean stroke salon, cultural kind of carnival was fantastic. Really, really, really fantastic, innovative idea. And people get to involve in they parade right through according to what eyewitnesses then tell me, and what I also see on Facebook Live. It was really good. But me being in Akono, at the time for this whole event, they do another cultural festival in Akono called Lekki Culture. Maybe they do Akono Day. So so I guess that festival they definitely go on well, and it's the first time, so it's quite new. It will take a while for people for probably really get used to them, but overall, from all we see, it was a massive success.
But do you know if it was a private organization, or is it government, or?
No, I don't. I definitely not think it's government. I think it's more collaboration. I'm saying I don't think, okay,
right?
Because I didn't ask these specific facts. But if government handed it, it's probably a kind of a collaboration. But I think I definitely think to say, and again, anybody in the dialogue now, so we want to correct me, please do so. But I suspect it was inspired by, of course, private individuals, because I first see them in a WhatsApp group called Sustainable Tourism, that they force see them. And I know for say members within that particular group, people like Amadou them and all that have been really actively pushing this particular carnival. And I reckon that they must make relationships or partnerships with quite a number of other people, and I'm not going to exclude Ministry of Tourism inside it. But that's what I would expect. That's my thought, and none of this is coming from me as fact. But
right.
Those people who fact, hopefully they will share what. But whatever the case is, I must say that this is how we should be working in terms of having collaborations. Positive collaborations that and we can only win creatively. It can only be a win-win for us.
Instead of discouraging ideas, you play your own part for make what you call and learn lessons from and see how it will grow. And the reason I make ask if it was government led is because for something that big, something that organized the way we see from the snippet, I was expecting more publicity, so more people will be join and be part of them. But hey, like you said, it was the first one, and we hope, yes, Tibo, you can just know, we hope say it's something that will grow, and attract more people for come inside and do. Yes, Tibo, over to you.
The carnival was put together by some civilians based in America, and then they try to collaborate right across the diaspora. It's called the Afro-Caribbean Festival, and I feel say it's a project by an individual. We get interest in the soca carnival thing, and we I feel say they attend for a couple of years in the Caribbean, and he also come across with one of the biggest soca female artists and a few more other artists. So it is not a government initiative, it's a private entity that have some links of collaboration with the mayor's office in Freetown and also with the Ministry of Tourism, and try to merge the two cultures together, because since that the Sierra Leone culture gets in diverse way how they always look at them. So in realizing we can blend in this culture and get the soca festival being done in Freetown alongside the beach, and also do some amount of touristic attraction for the guests that will come from other parts of the world into Sierra Leone for can see how they go for export Sierra Leone in other diverse ways. So I think it's a mixed culture of different things involved, and is also another part of the activities then we the minister for put up also now for create a cultural event or cultural evening where they bring down we own cultural artifact, then we will go sell like costumes, we fabric, we cultural furnitures, then we normalize, we statue, and also do a Bubu like festival alongside the carnival itself. And then I think there was supposed to be a musical concert all being put together in a package. So it was like a touristic package put together by the Afro-Caribbean Festival Group, based in America. But then the type of collaborates with different other entities then and individuals. I started off with 1 or 2 meetings with them, but I was really occupied, tied up. I was not able to follow up with the other kind of progress of what may happen. But I was actively following what they were doing. So they have it directly linked with few government ministries like tourism, the mayor of the Office of Freetown, Mayor Insai, and also I think they had links with UK High Commission, we are also one of the partners when they get involved with. But it was put together by individuals that lives in the States. I'm not for the I don't forget the guy name no more, but some guy we gets so much interest in the
nice
festival and we don't attend all over the world. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that update. And again, we'll continue to watch that space, but it's a good thing. And we hope say next time we will see the cow footprints involved, playing footprints there as well. So tell me about the Lekki Culture Festival Nakono. Are you gonna make festival Nakono, then you know invite T-Boy? And we know say all time you day all time most times you can day Kamakwe, but this time you decide to go to Kono. Why Kono?
Yes, because and a young man, wonderful young man called Alassane Fufana. Most people know him as Stickman. So Nai actually the main CEO for Lekki Culture. He teamed up together with one other guy we all know as Sierra Leone as Disco Daddy. Now Disco Daddy gets group of performers as a cultural performers, then we tour up and down the country with. So together, they pieced together this Lekki Culture Festival. It did not start from last year. All right. So this is the second time. So they called me to make myself collaborate with them. So hence I'm gonna Konode and we'll support them, talk about the importance of the culture, talk about unity, which is one of the main things that we look at for the Lekki Culture Festival itself. One day event, but really, it was really good. For Guna Konode, just for see like it's the best New Year celebration I don't get in Sierra Leone for many years. It was really the best, and all night you get Bubu played. All night they parade up and down the whole place, fireworks, few other performers then where I get chance for meet on the night as well. So overall it was really it was really good. I still think that there's many things to learn with all this stuff that we put on, but still fantastic experience that Kono. So Kono people let me when I think well hey. It was good. It was good.
By the way, if we didn't so we have now associate citizens of Kono. So
you see, we look at Kono people in the answer. We don't see Kono people in here.
Yeah.
Anyway, this code that you mentioned, so now guy we don't say. Now the industry guy don't say.
Yeah.
And when I hear the name, where I watched the clips them online, I was really amazed. Hey, this one I didn't expect it. Wow. But definitely, it was a remarkable event. I saw you in the middle of a huge amount of people surrounded in a circle, and then you're delivering a message. I think, the message that you put across to the people of Koidu specifically, I think we go down very well. It's about time we will begin to celebrate with culture then within the national events. They will get like a Christmas, maybe Sali, Boxing Day, New Year's Eve, Easter, you get from make their events, they are so more culturally inclined, so that people understand. So yes, you can celebrate religious activities, and not just in the religious way, but also with your own cultural way, how you adapt them particular thing they are so into your own system. So it was a good thing that you did it. And when I asked you, how was it? And you said to me it was one of your best Christmas ever. But I turned around and watched you. Why? And all of a sudden, I saw some amount of spectacular fireworks. I said, okay, maybe sometimes people don't get back the feeling of thinking he is in London.
Right.
He is in London, in Koidu town. And the fireworks were amazing. So it gives you the elements of culture, the Western culture, Rion culture itself, all being blended together, and makes it a memorable event. And I can understand why you say that was one of your best Christmas for years.
And that's why they say multicultural event, right?
Oh, so, true. I think it was. It was really.
And also the other one where I see again is the Kabala, the people like Koidu, migrating to Kabala.
Recording in progress.
For go up the mountain, for go celebrate. That was good as well. I saw pictures and that was beautiful. So we hope we allow peace for reign in the country. We allow people in the freedom for do waiting their leg and enjoy in their own little way. So that's how I'll say.
I mean, Juma,
yes.
You bring the Kabbalah thing. I don't know if this is where we should go now. I really am not sure. Talking about, because we're talking about the aspects of the culture and that. But I just want for, in a way, admonish, tell off the Kabbalah people. Now, I not see this particular celebration this year. But if anybody na Kabbalah, if they listen to this now, I beg respond to me, because I not did it this year. But the year when I been in a Kabbalah day, when I go spend the new year in a Kabbalah for that rock, we then say, which is where everybody goes to do things. In fact, even where they ask right now, at the plan for Awanguna Kabbalah will be part of a video recording for me, music for the Cow Footstep song. I want to go right the opening scene there. Now, however, when I go to that first year and claim up that rock, I don't know if I will say claim up that rock there. Oh my God. I want to challenge every single Kabbalah, man, woman, leader, chief, for make them come together and put step way safe for people and for claim for right up that space, that rock day. Because it absolutely, or at least the time when me did it, it was unsafe. That's basically, I think they can do much better. I don't know which one way more dangerous, whether or not they go up or whether or not they come down, now more dangerous. But for whatever the case, when we don't go up now, one thing, all the can down, the dust, the dirty, one guy next to me literally for them injuring himself. Another guy, the Diagi ways, not JC guy, the Diagi ways in the can down. I see me another guy so again. Now, I hate for saying it so publicly, but sometimes this program, how they go, to say talk to me, not so, let me talk to you. So I want to make Kabbalah people already listen to this. When I get to act together, please. That place is a fabulous place. It's an attractive place. When I get to act together, when I put a step, we safe for go up there. That's one. And I come by the second one, Juma. There's the second one I want to come on. The second one I want to talk about on that same place. And again, this was maybe 5-6 years ago when I go there, maybe 5 years ago where I go there. Maybe it don't change. However, when I go up there, I see the amount of plastic rubbish, dirty, when they left up there. I remember I come down, nobody no clear anything in this space. When I come down, I meet the man them back. I say, if una no clean this place, in a few short years, nobody will want to go up here now because we they mess up the environment up there. And literally pollute the whole environment. And I think this probably, if there's any one thing about tonight TV or one we've been delving into as much in terms of how they go, it's just how they treat the environment. Just how they treat the environment. And so for Kabala people, if there's any two things I ask of you, number one, when I put a safe step for people to go up and candle, so that granny self will go up, grandpa self will go up, when I picking and go up and candle, it's safe. When I invest in that, when I get enough money for do that, when I get enough young manpower. Number two, when I take care of the environment, please. That's right. For the Kabala people.
So Yusuf, I'll tell you something before I bring T-Boy in. I agree with you to a large extent, but I get a different viewpoint. I agree, say, then for make and safe. I agree, say, then for make sure, say, it is well organized and coordinated for clear plastic and other things, and make sure, say, people are secure when they're up there. The only side where me possibly my own viewpoint different, and for me it's part of the fun, it's part of an achievement, is not making it easy for people to go up. It will be part of the adventure, the challenge for saying yes, I made it to the top. I struggled because we experienced January 1st, 2018, and already explained so. For God, for me, was not the issue. Coming down was the problem. That black dotty, where they kind dead. You don't know, sir, whether they go left, they go right. And that place, they not get respect for big man, big woman, JC, and other things. And I'll say it hasn't changed because I spoke to someone who is from Kabala, where talk say, for me, come on, it's tired. Only don't they sleep. So 2 days the person they sleep for recover, for claim go up and candle. You know. So again, for me, that's the thing. But you're right. And there are people making money out of that situation. Because the time will go there, one, you can get military people, wait team up, they collect money from people for go up. They make like a small fence stick, then say now the gate standing for go up. Then get people always say now then are the committee people for organize that. So there are people making money out of it, but not organizing it properly. And I agree with you, say Kabala gets enough people for able to make that thing they big and let go back to inglorious days. Well, I'll bring T-Boy coming. Then hopefully if you disagree with me, your own viewpoint about not making it easy, I would like to hear that.
I agree with Juma. Usually, I not agree with you. I'll tell you why. You see that Kabbalah the way you talk about so. Juma nearly lost all the teeth to the force. Now he didn't make the fact. Yes. One force for claim we get for make step. Juma owe me, I owe somebody else. I owe Uncle Paul, then Uncle Paul owes somebody else for claim. Well, that one is not interesting, more like go down each of the hill. So I say, let me jump. How I will go for jump, we sustain here and take a picture. Juma the face say if you jump, you go for not long.
Of course.
You use for jump. So the experience, I totally understand the fact say it's an adventure. You know, like I went and get a bull tomato thing where they happen on Spain, where the bull they chase anything red. That's the kind of idea where the Kabbalah Hill gets, Pana Mountain. So basically, it is an adventure for you to climb the hill and get to the top and take pictures. It's also an adventure for you to survive coming down the hill. So that is the excitement for me. But the other area, they will say, yes, they need to maintain the top of it. Yes, I agree. It should be maintained properly and for able get at the litter after the event done. So at least they will keep the hill clean. And also, there are more things that they can do up the hill. You can actually host an entire event up the hill. But the safety of that, is the concern. Because the hill is massively flat on top of it. We're able to take possibly 1,000 people. But the edges are not safe enough. So I have not heard of any disaster of any nature that happened. They see somebody for them over the place or anything happened. None of that at all. But I think it should be a little bit more safe when you get up there. Then forget plenty marshal them, wait for the go around and make sure the people are safe. I think that should be one of the priority. And after the event, keep the community ready at the place they clean and maintain the top of it. But in terms of using steps for go up and come down, it kill the nature. We even talk, say that we can even forget that kind escalator lifts for possible people who will be of disability, we're not able for work or claim. But still, if the options are there, that's fine. But I don't think the option should be just one-sided thing, because make the options open. Other for go through the step, you pay slightly more for take the comfort. Other for take the adventure, you take the rugged end. Other for take lifts where they take you up to the top, you take lifts. That is a way of making money. They can actually generate enough funding by doing so. But I think the project itself hasn't been managed by any serious-minded people who are able to make enough resources out of that, because that's also, it gets a lot of economic value where I feel say the Kabala people really tap into. I think 20 years back, it was a whole adventure where people really take from Freetown or from other parts of Sierra Leone, then they travel all the way to Kabala. The reason we keep that experience there going for the very first time, now because we were fortunate to be in Kabala New Year's Eve, and we were supposed to come back Freetown that same next day, and we decided not to come. And guess what? We end up staying about 3 to 4 days in Kabala, and we experienced during that period, just like we were a tourist coming from a different part of the world, experiencing the Kabala Hill, come down the hill, look at the culture of the people already inside it, and it was exciting.
And
so
we spend money inside it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. So it's an adventure that will generate enough economy if they're able to maintain them properly. The momentum of Anwe Nandi 10, 15 years ago is not the same anymore, because either they need to glorify them as much as they used to do, or the Kabala people are not proud of it anymore like they used to be proud of it. So it depends on how we look at them, but I think it will make a lot of cultural and economical value if the Insai will look after them a little bit more and enhance in some of the areas that we have to say need to be enhanced. But yes, I agree.
Yeah. Yusuf, why should they come in? So what you call them? Swafatu Tunis. They suggest, how about investing in rope steps, 2 for climbing the mountain?
But you see, this is the thing. T-Boy touched on the point where are the drive at.
Okay.
People talk of options. This is it. And you see, you solve problems when you engage in dialogues, like we're engaging in dialogues here. And I think this has been the biggest problem of Sierra Leone and I would say Sierra Leoneans in general, whether they're in governance or whether they're in corporate entities and so on. Ego has been a big issue, and because ego comes in the way people don't engage in dialogue, people have to talk at each other, and in talking at each other, you're not listening anymore. Or people want to prove I am better off, or I am my idea is better than yours, and all that nonsense. What we've just done just now is the kind of dialogue that we should be having, sharing ideas. We will disagree, but what T-Boy brought on the point here exactly drives home what I'm trying to say, that if we bring in options, who that wants to go for adventure, no problem, go on an adventure. Who that wants to go climb up on a rope ladder like Sophia is saying, why not? Climb up on a rope ladder. Who that wants to, put the steps there, climb up. If you have to put the lift for the disability, why not? And that's an important impact point again T-Boy raised there. Because while we say, no, let's preserve the adventure to go, but disability, people with disability.
So they left other people them out and discriminate against them completely because option.
Right. Exactly. And you and I know there are many of many of our friends and relatives who have children with disabilities or who are themselves disabled. Shouldn't they be able to go up there? So I think that then the need for being considered when we engage in these kind of dialogues in terms of the culture, the access to our cultural sites or traditional sites. We need for create this space for this. So and Kabala for me is one particular example that we should be looking at as well. I mean, the Gola Forest gets similar issues as well. Takugama get a similar issue as well, but I know Takugama then actively they work on for put something in place for allow people and for gain access. Because when you go a place like a Takugama, it's not easy for left dong and the road regions for go right up here. You need a 4-wheel drive, you need a really solid motor, or if not a waka, it's quite a bit of a distance. And again, I do not know why Ministry of Tourism, government not don't team up with Bala within a Takugama for just make the road, for heaven's sake, get good access for Uganda, because it's an amazing place for go. The same just as down in Kabala, where they even much further away, or Takugama just the nearby. It's absolutely amazing. And then on top of that, we get the dam with the end at Takugama. Again for visit. Yep. If only we put in that little bit more discussion and engage in the proper dialogue on how we can improve these places. There's so much to be experienced in these areas. Okay.
I think, Yusuf, I need to cut you, but I think what you say so right. But I also think the owners or the proprietors of them particular activities they are so know they give open opportunities. What make they say so? Now because we have approached few entities along the coastline of Sierra Leone. We have approached few entities where supposed for they responsible for the slave resort and whatever we get in terms of the bonds island and everything. But I think then they monopolize a lot of their issues there also and their activities there also because they don't want to bring in different partners. Taklogama we make mention of, so I think about 10 or 15 years ago, me, Femi, and few more others of the Sierra Leone media team took a trip to Taklogama. And guess what? We were not there just to have an attraction as a tourist, but we were also there to see how best we can maximize the audience of this particular chimp resort. But for the fact that we are indigents, sometimes it is at our disadvantage. Even when we don't country back home, the disadvantage we say, oh no, no, can because what you do, they can't take. But guess what? They encourage other people and the time that we military for do that kind of exploration there. So we were about to go and do intense documentaries about the chimps, them how they came about, what they need to do. One of the reasons we could go there specifically, now because of that chimp where they being called, was it Tyson where being go on a rampage?
Bruno.
It was Bruno. It was linked to the Bruno incident. We were about to go there to find out about Bruno, whether Bruno still exists, what happened with Bruno, if Bruno has ever reappeared again within the chimp sanctuary. And we were given a lot of hard time. So during that period, we get for Sierra Leone, Femi, let's explore the surrounding. And guess what? We realized there was a dam just beyond the chimp sanctuary itself. And the dump was just there. And that was the first time for me to know for say dump didn't also really exist anyway. And you can see the vast river that flows all the way for like miles ahead of you. And we took documentary of all of that. But what I therefore emphasize, now the fact say the proprietors of them particular establishment, they are so not the open access to indigenes, who possibly they can explore and create more audience for them particular establishment they are so. And guess what happened a couple of years later? We saw a whole documentary being shot by Europeans, and then just give me possibly about half an hour of that documentary of a chimp that's the military for experiment something on. And I'm thinking, we have been there like 5 years earlier on. They refused us access, and we were about to follow up something that will generate even more audience. because the Bruno incident as alone was a national incident, and that could have created a huge more amount of audience if the actual story came out. We had the victim that went through all the ordeal with the Bruno incident, and we were about to discuss intensely with this guy, which we did. But guess what? The Chim Sanctuary, Taklugama, refused us access. So basically, we get able for we gain access to some of their establishment there. So we're able to generate more resources when we get. Because if we do anything we get for doing that particular area, we broadcast them, it will trigger more audience because people might be thinking, oh yeah, I remember this incident. Okay, let's go see. Because Europeans will capitalize on that Bruno incident and make sure say they raise enough fund for that Bruno incident.
Right.
But I want them person the benefit.
Right. So again, it come back to the same thing we usually say, T-Boy. People like organized chaos because it works, not the advantage, but they don't care. Example I saw with this festival thing. Somebody's festival, thank you for mentioning the name Dana Labor, for reminding us, well done to him and team for putting together this. But then we see the minister, as usual, the Minister of Tourism and Culture was at the forefront, dancing. And, that's all she cares about, wanting to make it like, okay, this time a glory. Yeah, it is, but make it better. So the thing, look at the suggestions here. Ashma says steps also will be challenging and the ropes too will be scary. So all the options is actually adventurous. So you see, having steps, that was Shuaifa to having steps made out of rocks, like how the Chinese did the Great Wall. We can source stone masons for work like that. Of course, you get stone mason in that's alone. You don't create jobs. And of course, it continues to say those in charge should do more research to see how other countries have fared on with similar facilities. So not so magic or length here. These are things that have been done by other people. We can do. We get all the resources, putting it together, adding value, continue for grow, make them better. Make away people and they go Hajj. Every year then they increase the mosques, then they add more things there because then they look at the need where they go, and how they're going to accommodate. So that going to Kabala is like a pilgrimage. You go there, not a pilgrimage for go worship stone or idol. No, it's a pilgrimage. People are going. They don't mark, say, New Year's Eve. So, New Year's Day, and then they spend up. So you say, one can go people na Kabala. Then they people eat pap na morning, they eat lafidi. You make sure say you serve that, let them experience what Kabbalah is about. You cannot say it's a land of waiting, beautiful mixture or whatever, but then people don't know what that means. Or the bread basket of Sierra Leone, and people don't know what that means.
And you say on the way to Kabbalah there is a camel mountain. Who knows
not
about?
Just one. Yes, I will take pictures of those.
There are many of it there.
There are camel mountains going. For me, that's my best scene.
Exactly.
Yusuf. Now my best scenery that one day. When I drive yonder, I feel,
Juma.
Yeah.
When I go na Peru, when I go visit na Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
The Machu Picchu, you get different options, and I cannot begin to tell you just how tough it is to get to Machu Picchu, depending on what route you take. You can fly to a place called Cusco, or you can take a coach. We're going to take you 23 hours on the coach for going to Cusco. My goodness, you go high up the mountains. Wusai me a cham da coca leaf. A chama, like I say, me na cocaine addict. Because I've been to lose my breath. So the altitude was very, very high. It's the only way you'll be able to breathe, but thin your blood so that you get oxygen. But after that, you descend now into the jungle. When you come down now, you come into Cusco, still high altitude. Then from there, you get an option for then put a motoka there for Kerigo, another place they call Hydroelectrica. From Hydroelectrica, you get an option for either take a train, we go Kerigo, Agua Calientes, or you walk 3 hours through the jungle for going to Agua Calientes. But every path where you take is incredibly dangerous. Like where you take the Puda, if you see the mountain edge, them with the ground, right? But the point is that these people made sure that they put every place for make sure anybody posts them, we get medical attentions. Medical, you get post them inside the jungle there. So I think, you know, in exploring places like Kabala and so on, man, there's a lot of things we must put in play. That we must, and you know, Kabala of course is the point we're looking at this point because it don't raise up. But this applies to everywhere else. You see, it applies to everywhere.
But Yusuf, don't go too far. Was it a couple of years ago? There was a waterfall, right? Did they talk about that again?
Mambo, yes.
Did they talk about Mambo waterfall again?
No.
The farms that don't go, everybody don't forget about them. Now there's another gold mine where people left in terms of scenery, the Leicester Peak scenery. People go there religiously, they make groups and go up there. What are we doing about it? Again, if you go watch, possibly plastic bottle there under, you know, pints there under, pupu de under, cigarette studs de under, all kind of rubbish there. Before you remember just now, people are going to pull them dots in their host them down and can't throw away over there.
Okay, Juma. I mean, right now, as we, you know, this is how they're going to go. All right, so there's a lot going on.
Yeah, how they going to go inside the Republic? Everything comes here. Yeah.
Now,
Yusuf, the struggle for you. Hello, Yusuf, are you there?
Now, we, those people who are very, yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now. Yes. Yeah, loud and clear.
Juma?
Yes. Yes, we hear you.
Okay. All right. Sorry. The network really did fluctuate so much. So I'm really sorry. Now, Lumley Beach, they in again, this is just my view based on what I see. Lumley Beach for me is a mess. It's a mess. For me, Lumley Beach is almost as if it's not even fit. It's not a beach that I knew that we can be proud of for, say, bringing a tourist. And I mean this in every way. Number one, if we talk of the infrastructure within Lumley Beach, much of this infrastructure, they're not safe, environmentally speaking wise. They're not safe because plenty just they pan tap the sand. Definitely they're not safe. Number two, they're not safe again in terms of traffic. All you need now, make one small place get an event, and the one whole stretch of Lumley Beach is jammed. You can't drive safely anywhere. Keke everywhere. The motorbikes, them Okada, and they ride on top the pavements that people have for pass. Cars are literally on a standstill. Now, this is happening when the people and where they come now just Sierra Leoneans who are coming from abroad. And in December, I do not believe that there are more than 3,000, maximum 5,000 Sierra Leoneans will come up from abroad. We don't come into Sierra Leone in December. And it is not all of those numbers, a fraction, tiny fraction of those numbers actually, they go on Lumley Beach on those specific days. Now, if only that tiny fraction are only going to Lumley Beach, then already with the place they choke like that and it becomes so unsafe. Can you imagine what would happen if tourism actually begin to flourish and begin to kick in? Lumley Beach would be a total mess. It's just totally unfit for purpose if we begin to project into the future. Now, and we're only looking Christmas. If we say we want to open up for tourism over the whole of the summer, the sunny times that we have, how will Lonely Beach cope? It definitely will not cope, because we literally just chock-a-block the place. All right, now, the second thing for me at Lonely Beach, again, has to do with the environment. The abuse of this place is sad. It's pathetic. The rubbish everywhere, plastics everywhere. Peace. I mean, I so hate to say this here on public, but we gotta say it so that something is done. Now, Juma, if you ask any Sierra Leonean, which is the most favorite beach right now, I believe that almost everyone would agree that number 2 River would be seen as the favorite beach. For the popular Jama, they would say number 2. And we got to ask why. When you go to number 2 River, you pay to go there. At first, I was complaining, I go pay for Gona Beach. But they actually are demonstrating what and why we should pay and where our money goes. Because when you go now, number 2 River, it clean.
Right.
You get everything safe. When you say you go buy goods, everything is organized well when you go number 2 River Beach. It clean. Well, me, when I go to Lonely Beach about a week or 2 ago, I go there, the pass, I look the place. I actually begin to say to myself, maybe we should put charges for people for going to the beach somehow.
I agree with you, and this is a conversation I've had with a few people, and a suggestion that I'm not averse to congestion charge for Lonely Beach area 1, or you stop motorcar for Plyday totally. Apart from delivery vehicles, you get, you create a parking area somewhere, and then you get the rickshaw or the, what do you call the thing, license. Only license for that area for Plyanda, starting Keke from one point of Lumley to Aberdeen. That's it. Other side, the way they park your vehicle, so that they go ease the congestion. One, a place like Bahamas for like NASA, not a big place, but the side way they come out from, the main NASA for go now the other resort area, then get a toll. There's a toll. You pay toll to go in. So not to everybody just they grab willy-nilly and just go there. It's about control, because the way you make and so you're able to control the area, you're able for keep and save, you're able for account and all of those things. That is not something I'm averse to at all. Yes, T-Boy.
Me, I totally agree with one option where the mayor of Freetown be one for bringing count for the cable car. That can work effectively well in Lumley along the beach side. Reason being, like what they say, Lonely Beach is not the same beach we would all use for 30 years back down the line. At the moment, like somebody say online, now like a marketplace. And if now one of the main source of tourist attraction, Danny, I think we forgot for Nitavam. And again, no issue with the 2 gates in Alumni. It will be a total car-free area.
Yeah.
Pass at all. It will be a man-made area where now for just him and walk away. It's a very nice area for just to walk from the beginning of Aberdeen and the end of Lumley itself. It's a strip. That's a massive walking distance.
When people they go Vegas, the whole Vegas where they go for now 2-mile radius. It's a strip.
So
that's it. You walk there,
it will not be a bad thing for get to tune Lumley. When you come, you buy your tickets, you go, you walk out, you enjoy. As you step out of that bound, get it back again, so you for pay. If only that's going to happen, then we'll be able to generate the fund we will want for use for maintain the Lumley Beach itself. Yusuf, I heard you made mention of number 2 beach. Number 2 beach maybe now they don't sky for reactivate the cleanliness or livelihood of number 2 beach. But yes, I agree with you. But at certain point of the year, a couple of years back, it wasn't the same. When we go to number 2 beach, the benches were not in good condition. The parking area is a struggle. The road for Camden, where they lead you to the beach itself, is dangerous. So basically, there were a few elements that went wrong. Maybe now the management at that particular point in time was not the right management. But if they don't change it now, I totally agree with you. They say, yes, you pay for cancer day and you get some kind of amount of structure within it. But not just saying that, few meters away from number 2 beach, I think Yusuf we don't fashion there at some point, so we get for do some amount of recording. Then like 10 years back, I remember. And the second beach will be go now be Hamilton, somewhere.
Hamilton.
That was so there are so many unrealistic beach there we will not make use of along that coastline there. But we
okay, people, let me just jump in there quickly.
Okay.
Right now, if you take motorcar from Lumley, you drive from Lumley, say you go past number 2, you don't go recognizing a number 2 you don't pass. You go carry on and on and on and on, honestly, until you go to York. You don't go realize for say, hey, now York could not reach. Pass okay. You don't realize that's okay, you don't pass. What I'm saying is that the road infrastructure don't more or less together. So like they're still doing some areas where they finish. Guys, I don't know if you're here. Juma, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We struggle, but we can hear you.
You're slowly breaking up, but we can hear you.
Okay, so I'm okay now, eh?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, fine. So I apologize to the listeners, watchers here. You know, saying I say Sierra Leone network, so it's not stable. Now, so what I'm saying is that you can literally drive all the way through and then really if and push for make the road all throughout the areas and the bridges and all that stuff. Now, when you go to number 2, you go down to number 2 now. The road not fully make, but still you can able to go down the and number 2 now they get a big space which you can literally park your motorcar now. Then you find they get about I think 2 different spaces now where you park motorcar now, which I think is really good. So there's a lot that's been done at number 2. So for me to pay that really 10,000 for say you go there really you can park your motorcar, say it's safe. People marshals and they really look after your motorcar for you, and I think that's really wonderful. Now you contrast that to Laka. Laka is it's like Laka is being decimated.
It's a slum now. It's a slum. We're not being one of the best. Laka is a slum.
Yeah. Laka is in a mess. The sea literally, but I do think that of course the sand mining a big problem where they get effect now in Laka, but also I think a few of the people that will go build Laka, then similar to those where they can build now so na Lumley Beach along the way. Time will prove for say that is a silly idea. I know I use the word stupid, but I go say silly idea for go build Pantap Santa, because when one day nature begins to take its course, all that investment they go like how they happen now in Laka. I think it's crazy for me to build Pantap Santa. Every sober tourist destination we at least I know where don't go at maybe around the world, hardly would you find people then go build Pantap this and
a permanent structure too. They can build a temporary thing that you can when a bolt and not you go loose here and there or something, but go build permanent structure with concrete and this that you just causing more problem, but that's more problem. They'll bring Femi in. I see the smile and T-Boy talk about his favorite topic. Welcome, Femi. Happy New Year. Hello, you want for your inputs. Now, this cultural segment of how they go. Culture, tourism, and so on and so forth on the segment of how they go inside Republic.
How do, Juma?
Yes, so welcome.
Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Did you hear me loud and clear? All right. So, also you are make a begin, really and truly. Hold on.
Right. Not the middle.
You are make a begin right at the middle. Okay. So so happy New Year to you too. You know, I hope say una celebration in America treat una fine. I see some of una fireworks them and they were amazing. I actually worked on a couple of webcasts with some American team whilst over the New Year period, New Year's Eve. So I witnessed some of them myself. So on a cultural discussion, I don't pay a lot of attention. I'll begin first when I talk about Kabala. And Usifu, well done on that day. Kabala, I don't know if some of you know, but I told where I grew up. So I was in Kabala. I was a wee toddler because my daddy been they woke up day, and my grandma and my mama and me, we spent about 3 months at one point in time up there with them, and it was incredible. I not get a lot of memories, but I get a lot of stories. A lot of stories then about Kabala, and some of them amusing. I don't know how true it is, but I believe because I'm a senior and they tell me, they say we wake in the morning the elephants and the wiki within the pass across. And with the elephants in the pass, also one in the pass, they walk in herds. So they go and they shake within the camp. So that was the morning call that morning. Then we know me get both carry we been gone bokuna Kabala the so as then he lose me so then can go for me middle the road at Simap a day mutkano the passo but I go down sit down day something that me one snake. I go go the snake in tail. I left the snake. It try for waka because you know the waka find at the ground. Then you know it will go too far. Then I do and come back. Then see na the innocence. My mama can put here na the Allah call me and go pull me commode. But me I be like that playground there I think. But anyway, Kabbalah was fun. From what I hear, there was a lot of space. There was a lot of nature. My parents loved it. My grandmother, they freed most of in life. Be loved the 3 months we'll spend up there, and we were actually at the chief in I'm not gonna say in Massey, but we are the guests of the chief of the. So from time to time, the chief go cook, go eat. We eat a one big pan. Well, not me basically, my parents. I guess I mean I've been small and so I've been in a hand and but yeah, so it was nice to know Yusuf in adventure and disadventure. I'm glad we went off the cliff no more. But again, I agree with Yusuf in many ways. Say them for try for make that place safe. Yusuf will touch on a few points them where I don't try for think about how we go able to discuss standing in this program. We talk about disability access or access for disabled people them or less able people them. Not to just Kabbalah Dandi in a problem. Then a problem throughout Sierra Leone. You know, they gonna people like offices them.
You building, all the ministries.
Yeah, we're gonna have people like offices them, and they're not meant for people with disability. And if we know with history, there was a period about 30 years ago where we get a lot of people them where were made disabled by the war way up in Sierra Leone. And we go think say, civilization like a we own or what we own supposed for be, go realize say we have to do something for these people, for give them access to certain things them. We go Natong, we go Salon, especially when you go Freetown, we go na the amputee camps them. You go one water. In a few days time we get J6 na the date I believe so they don't decide say na that day 9 then go use for commemorate the war wounded, not also. But what is really being done, J6 day around the corner, what is being done about these people 20 something years down the line since the ending of the war, then people are so still they struggle, they suffer. So Yusuf, thank you for reminding people and say, for think about them people as who they build them places or they make events and them places and we need for find way for get them people as to say stuff up there. But then I agree with Juma and T-Boy. I mean the ability for claim that mountain day or that hill day, I think say na spectacle of yon, na challenge of yon. In recent years, I went to the Ghana in I don't forget the name of the team, Kakum Park, I think the name. And then na similar thing. They have a massive hill where you get for climb the hill. When you reach up the hill, you don't tap by take reach up the. But guess what? When you reach up the hill now, you get for cross over by rope bridge, and there's no other way. You get for either go over that rope bridge there, or you turn back and down, which is a lot longer. And again, we went there as tourists. There was a Ghanaian boy with his wife. She was a white lady from America. The lady was jumping across the road like say Inabi, monkey. And we the black man them, we were hesitant. And her husband even was in saying no go over there without a safety jacket. So you understand? So I think many cultures, many people then get them kind of so and we now people we fear for we life. Unlike the Caucasian friends, them as I say, that lady was jumping all over. I'm not saying they not get free though, but they're more adventurous than we are. But if we know that day, straight away we supposed to do something for guarantee small bits with safety. I didn't know I go left handy for now. Then I want to talk a little bit about the carnival in Freetown. I saw you, I miss Sam. Now I Mr. Labor and in fumble them. Now they really put them together. Them in contact Tibo at one point. We couldn't help because we were not going to be in Sierra Leone this December. But it looks like they did a splendid job. And it looked like say government now one can take praise for everything. I'm sure say governments get small earning. I'm sure say there was some level of sponsorship we come into them because I don't really know how financially it would have been viable if there wasn't a level of sponsorship in it. But it looks like it was a good event. People look to enjoy themselves. But as Usifu say, we think say the roads were totally blocked, and then in another issue we'll get for discuss.
Thank you so much. Over to you, Yusuf. Then we'll round up this segment and jump to other section of how they go inside the Republic. Yes.
Yeah, I think overall, I think when we come to events like this, we come for celebrate during Christmas, like so, we get to be much more mindful about the environment. We get to be more mindful about safety of individuals. There was quite a few fire along the in a few places around the in the city, and so safety is very, very important. Whether not the one the way they go outing, or whether not just we go for a swim, safety for people's lives, lifeguards. Up till now, we not get any sober lifeguards. Any of the beaches, we not get none. Or we get for being considered this now. Now, there's a thinking behind it. We want to make we begin for consider as Sierra Leoneans, and that is the thinking of deserving better, believing that we deserve better. And I think if we understand that we deserve better, maybe number one, people in general who demand better for say no. You cannot build a place like this. We're not get better toilet or clean toilet, or you can, we'll ask more of those in authority. Those in authority must also consider that we come for serve with people them for make their life better, not to we come for can lord it over them, but we're coming to serve for make their life better. So throughout the holiday periods like this, we must consider this. And I'm not saying it was totally zero, okay? Because I know events they most we get the police presence or soldier presence just for make sure say people are safe. I know that. Generally, you'll find the police or military like this in areas which I then know for say now big man, the so-called big man or big man and BT. That's when you see them, but you don't see them where the general people might be. Who say themselves they also deserve to be safe. But that's all. I'll wrap up for that. I wanted to move. Let's move on to the other segments. Right. of the
Right.
program on how.
Yeah, so you saying before I get Femi for coming, you talking about, I just want to remind people that when you talk about safety and security, it goes beyond someone in uniform being present. The person get for no force, what he able for do, what he supposed for do. Most of them are going there, don't even know how to deal with crowd, no know how for waiting for look for. And you talk about first aid, you talk about lifeguards. You know, we don't have all of those things. Fire force, you know, kind of thing. I saw a fire incident in Kono. Now youth man, the old book kids, then they go, we then they get to a rubber water, a gida one day, then they two way, then they, now so no more than they do. They know those kind of fire, waiting cause them and all of those things. But I hope the one that will matter, they listen. Over to you, Femi.
Yeah, earlier on I've been listening to Usifu they talk about you know, the road from Lumley till you go past all them places and you don't know see the reach there. Some of the work there we don't take place at the they fine. Yeah, I was there a year ago and you know I was amazed at some of the road that we don't build. But you know that red dotty, first of all, I don't know if it's still there. I don't know what's happened in the last year, but we did an event at Toke, and literally for reach Toke, some people let me get for take bike with them come, you could not recognize them. With they reach, they were. I mean,
What's
it's Alex and Mazden come on me man. If you see red dotty and people them, I mean, really and truly, as I say, this is a year ago. Yeah, now things might have changed. Yeah, but one way I don't think say they change Bokuna Sierra Leone. It don't change?
It's changed now.
Okay, well that's a good thing. But one thing we know they change now Sierra Leone, the long lasting effects. You know, they youths man they waiting and then corner them to then beach them. Yes, then they make them 2-3 pennies them, then they stop motor car, then they take money now on the hand, then they claim so then they provide safety. But over the years, waiting with they see with that area then they not improve. Really and truly, where they come on at the main road now for going at the beach, the parking, everything, the security of your cars, them. Really and truly, sometimes the government or sometimes the area man them for do something a little bit more permanent. Except of that rope where they can't tie, so you must cannot go past, till you get them small thing. You know, if we not say at this time of year, if those places are very popular, I think the government supposed for build infrastructures them they where you come in, they treat you like a tourist and you pay the amount of money where government on state so you pay that money they go into developing that lily and nothing we did it. You know, but let not even go under. We'll look at the entrance to Salon. You know, we'll reach we'll Kandong with plane, we'll Kandong na Lunge airport. The road from Lunge to them boats them when I did 99% of we tourists and they can't through. That road is so bad off that is what we're saying. Welcome to Sierra Leone, and that's what they tell with people there.
You said the tourists
and we guess
the president set the pass. The president.
Well, arrest me case. So you see that these are the problems the way I see. So that $25 where they take now we earn. I think say that them money they didn't for take for develop certain of the area then they. So when people in inside the country, they feel welcome straight away. When people are left free to say then they go na the coast for go na the beach area, then go number 2, or then go Toke, or then go York, or then go Hamilton, or then go Laka. You know, that's what greets them. Because then they know that they're in a true holiday resort, not to just then kind of some buffer where some bobo them will look a little bit dodgy. They tell them, so now give me small thing, we go look after on a car, we go pull the rope now road and the tire that we don't put and the stone there, we don't put our road so you must go pass. Really and truly, is that what we want our guests to see? And we don't not talk about the Sansan and billion on Sansan.
It's sad when you mention that, but that road they with it because then they don't they under. But I just reflect back where this president come, the first side where he make within a short space of time. Now the road Usai they live, you know, the temporary place Usai they rent before he be president. Now the first road that they make, and they spend $1 million for make up. $1 million. That road off off Juba, not to the Juba Hill, because the Juba Hill still get pothole them, dangerous ones too. But the road where they lead off from Usai, the president, state to the Juba junction for can connect at the Juba road. $1 million. That's what they use to make that road. So if they can use that money, they can use maybe quarter of that money for build that road the way Femi they talk about. So I see you answer something, Yusuf.
Yeah, what I want to say, talking about the rope thing. Now, and I really hope that people, those in authority, and especially either the road transport people, authorities, I think road construction, or maybe ministry that's responsible for the road works, but also, more importantly, that the LUCs and the police officers, the big man, them big woman in our police, that they're listening to what I'm saying here. One of the most dangerous things the way the police they do on the road, and it's ironically for me for even see the police doing dangerous stuff, because you would think that they should be doing safe stuff, is putting this kenkeneke rope on the road that they call checkpoints. Right. To me, it is the most demeaning thing to put above everything else. Now, however, yes, they've got to put checkpoints for security, blah, blah, blah. Why am I saying it's totally unsafe? When you drive the go in a Losar, you enter, or when a mile 38, you enter, or whichever one you enter. In the daytime, you barely just see the 2-3 tick they would not put, or that can rope would they put with 2-3 plastic with the dangle panel. At night, you don't see anything because they not put reflectors on the road, number one. Number two, the police, they all can touchlight when they can flash like that one, they expect say you for stop. Number two. Number three, where they don't put that can rope now the road will not get no reflector in some areas then. They expect you for don't see them, they for stop. Now, a few times when I done the drive along the road, they come from Kamakwe or McKinney or whatever. I don't drive a few times, especially entering that Lowe's area, which I literally slam the brakes, screeching halt, just because all of a sudden I see this rope, we say now for stop, and I see the police and they flash that torchlight. Now there's a couple of things there. Number one, how do I know for say now policeman they stop me on a dark road? How do I know? What if my bandits them they try for stop me? Then I stop, they mug me, possibly even kill me and the other passengers they will go inside the vehicle with me. How do I know that? Okay. Also, how if I carry and say the police they stop me, why is it that they not put basic solar pole? One solar pole put and they light up that area there so that people they can then at least half a mile before they approach the post begin put signposts or say police post ahead, police post ahead. For heaven's sake, it does not cost $10,000 to do this. And I think that this is what I'm saying about deserving, that we deserve better. And when I remember when I stopped now one of the police posts them, if I not even just wanted several before I don't stop, I literally did tell the police officers them, I did tell them off because I was so angry that they didn't think to say because then they as police officers, you for just stop and just listen to them. Hell no. You are there as police officers for your safety, for heaven's sake. And not only that, all it takes now one push driver, one driver where don't drink some alcohol, or one driver where they fall asleep. Next thing you know, it declare that police post there and literally probably even injure, if not kill, the police officers there wouldn't go in that very spot there. So it makes sense for we IG, Inspector Generals, them police security people, whoever it is. We're talking of security here. Make them consider putting, if now one green solar lamp, una put them that post there, they una put signals them where as with the approach, then we know for say now police checkpoints with the approach, especially mile 38. Where the approach mile 38, then put them big pillar them would then put there. Now, then they expect say for no for say that mile 38 would they reach. Well, no. Not to expect say for no for say would they reach there. We expect una for put the correct secure warning signs them for people that way they approach there. A tired driver or a driver when a JC we not necessarily we not know the road very well, but they drive there. Would expect that for heaven's sake. But then, of course, they go put them thinking a flashlight. But what about the safety of the very police officers they wouldn't do it? It's crazy that we are behaving to each other like this. So I am challenging, I'm imploring, I'm not a beg, but I literally the challenge and implore. Una the police IG, when the big man the way that they did, una wake up and put the damn things in place for the safety of Sierra Leoneans. Because when you reach this point, they will almost make tough for bigger people, for bigger we for 10,000 or whatever it is. But for heaven's sake, when I put the right thing there for safety for Sierra Leoneans, it buggers me and it beggars belief that we still get a situation like this in the country when holiday time would drive up and down, would drive with families them, would drive to picking them when they come overseas or waving where they are not forget overseas. We picking them where they in Sierra Leone. We drive with them for go upline. But yet it's not safe. And the police posts that should be the safest point are not safe. And so I really just want to say, this has to change. If you ask me, talking about the dry, thin rope, they're all over the whole damn place upline. Come on. The police officers that are serving there deserve better. They deserve better. And so I made a call on the government, I did call on una when the police authorities them, una do better for heaven's sake. These police officers are struggling to make life meet for themselves. They're struggling because they know they pay them very well. But at least the least you could do for them in putting them in these treacherous places, in these dangerous places, at least make the police post safe for them for heaven's sake. Put solar lights, one more. Then they put proper barriers, we get reflectors for heaven's sake. And make the police officers them wear enough reflector garments them so we know say now police points where they arrive so. For me, that probably was one of the most frustrating experiences so far. Yes. Yeah,
before Kaisala gets a T-boy, then Femi, then I will tell you now my own mindset.
You lack a dick, man. You give them plenty. A dick. Why? Okay, like you one example.
But you the echo.
When me the freedom, yeah, what is salon? And then he stop na checkpoint after 2 o'clock. Because 90% of the checkpoint you put is man in the sleep. So I can wake you, for can create more problem for myself. So at the back, I put the rope down, at the right, I go outside and go. Not to me business. If you need a check post, you for day up. And then when they wear the point church lights, tell Juma, let Juma tell you what he can deal with them. Waking the drive 60 miles an hour, then they make church lights for you. Will they actually drive towards them? Because that is literally what they are asking for. Because there is no traffic law where say an approaching vehicle at 60 miles an hour before put flashlights for the driver. So basically, you they blind me. So what Juma can do, he just they turn the sky in towards in direction. So as we reach, he lights the odds and then they make padding back as well. But I hear you. There is no way that my 30th checkpoint they will get them pillar then. Okay, that's hazard. But like I can always say, 90% of the time, now we back they make the police officers them and find more trouble for yourself. So what I do when I drive along the highways of Sierra Leone, it doesn't matter where I'm going from, where I'm from. I know certain checkpoints and they where they stop. And then they stop now rope checkpoints. Because rope checkpoint doesn't exist for me. Me not say when we don't cross that rope, they are quarter. If you get a bike, follow me. If you get a motor car, follow me. But I know for sure, you know to accurate or sober police officer for put rope for block people in. And I don't know like a million times. Not because I want to break the law, but like you said, you don't know who is armed robber. You don't know whether you're safe or not. You don't even know the checkpoints themselves where you come across now actual policeman in the daily. So we don't stop at night for rope checkpoints. If we see say the rope na then can rope there, we the guys come down there, we come down, put the rope down, we cross, we go. But I understand your concern, but I headache different for yourself because na salon, you talk about the IG for maintain structure na the police officer then post them. The police officer then post then get unit officer then where they in charge. They don't take responsibility for their jobs that they've been allocated to execute. So why will they give yourself headache? Because as far as we're concerned, policemen are post forget uniform and forget badge. If you don't get badge and uniform, we don't even talk to you. We make it very clear to you, say, Paddy man, when you wear uniform, talk to me, but we drive off, come arrest me. Because as far as we're concerned, you are not on duty. A police officer on duty should be well dressed, with in uniform and in badge number. Then we not say we talk to somebody who is serious about his job. But I hear your case, your concern. The only way how they solve that problem is not even the ID can solve it. Us as individuals should be telling them what to do, and then many arrests people are going to police because now that confrontation there and that delay now we can always try for avoid. So we make our.
Then you they try for avoid because many of that.
No, you are another. Like I said, with the guys to work, the police post, and then they stop me. I say, no, I can't bang me because you the flashlight now. Yeah. So your case will be solved, but not as soon as we think it should be solved because we don't have responsible officers. We don't have responsible head of the police officers there. We follow exactly what's in the duties of the police officers they wait in our wood. So that is going to be forever talked about, and the solution will never be found that easily until we take real move against the police force. But when that will happen, only God knows.
Right. So let's go to Femi. Yes, Femi.
Hello, Juma, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, so who's that for begin? Oh, Usifu, let's go. T-boy said, Usifu, you get problem. But first of all, I beg una excuse T-boy. T-boy, he like exaggerate. That Juma will give problems. So Juma not go for it. So then policeman and go hold you.
Not a joke, Femi. My mindset in Sierra Leone. Because you know why? I don't leave Sierra Leone during the war. I drive go upline, and you get, rebels coming and they make checkpoint like if was in an ECOMOG, they wear uniform. If you allow you fall in that ambush, you are dead. So for as long as I don't know say this now an existing checkpoint where we know say yes so now ECOMOG then Kindi or whatever, because if there's attack, we'll be able to know. I they clear the checkpoint. And if na net, free tongue, when me they drive na free tongue na net, apart from the main checkpoint then they anywhere where I meet up, I declare you if it's map before they. And I need a joke with that because my safety first. Do you hear me? I say this? Now you don't even know that they connive with stiff man them, and then they get in the uniform them and show the outside for go attack, outside for make checkpoint. Who that they go make checkpoints at the top hill of King Street and Signal Hill? Who that they make checkpoints yonder? These people move their checkpoint down Congo Cross and can't make the checkpoint because they say, I call it Tembeton, where you the thunder curve. They back they make checkpoint. Who that they make checkpoint at them dangerous place then? So where I meet you there are they clear all things. I tell them where I meet you are almost the guy jump. Now I tell I say, pardon me if it's my so I they bang you if you die, I will pray for you. I say, but checkpoint not supposed for dinner. It's not about violence, but I think about my safety first. I have seen Femi, we go pick vehicle. Now attacking. And when it talks, it's scary. We turn to that Bishop Johnson corner because there's another back road there. You understand? Middle net, 1 o'clock morning. Because don't wait for the vehicle, the ship for float. We're angry, we say, go fend food up, how you call the place? Mountain Court. We came back for go down that place. Who that we see? This guy wear military fatigue trusses, he wear cardigan, they're all AK-47. God help, the boy been they drive me, know the area. I said not thief man than this. Imagine then they come on water kill the car. What if we had stopped? So that bugger for put reverse, follow we go. So my safety, now that mindset they get. So they have to organize it well, like how Yusuf say. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I just
no. And Yusuf was totally right. So the point I was trying to make is why I say Yusuf for Hamburg. Yusuf they talk say it not go cost $10,000 for put this chair. So
for pizza.
We just see we government spent not to $4 million then say per month to carry them for army man them.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know what them carry them the for do.
20 million. 20 million.
Whatever it be, not only ones we they talk about na dollars. You know, really and truly, you know, the little things that we them for take and do. Now they know they do because as you say, our safety is paramount. And not for we no more for them self one at them and then self you picking them. Because that policeman they not a policeman 24/7. Yeah, and when you know wear uniform, as you say, not a policeman. Anything can happen to himself. Or in own picking self they work on at street stand it. Understand? So, you know, really and truly they need to do better. Law not begin call money a big and that make me laugh for they call $10,000 because we will begin call government for all their half money there where then they spend. Thank God the audits report some come out. All their half money there where they don't spend. We know all the priorities them where them for the use them money they are so pan. Now that need no more make me laugh because if one begin to talk about money we go there associate tomorrow. But I get a good news for talk about salon. You know, so we famble them, we paddy they all long go free song, they all long go salon. Juma, if you see what in Ensina Road by Bo, there is a solar plant.
Where?
By Bo. I go send you the picture then. Hey man, if you see this stairs and they say not to the first one, there's not phase 1, so I don't know if they won't build the phase 2 yet. A solar plant, massive plant between Bo and Kenema. But near to Nabo district, it's in the design procedure where they supply Bo electricity. I don't know how the electricity they will pass what same people are talking now for me them verify. But me man they will be working at the road, they actually cross this thing on the way.
Make I just mention the thing about the electricity so far. To be honest with you, me, you know, Usai me day, na hill station, I go tell na plane, electricity is very stable unless there's a problem with the cable or something, but it's very stable. And I think that you know, there's vast improvement in that. There's, you know, in specific areas where there are cables. In areas where I cable no day, up till now, some places in Waterloo still really they struggle with electricity. But I think that it's coming along. Even when I go Kamakuye, I see the pole load and on-pass right through, and hopefully, you know, things will work out for make that same project where they come on Ivory Coast, where they pass through Kamakuye, and all the areas and they implement electricity very hopefully soon. So there are, you know, there's all of those work that are really going on up and down the country per se. You know, but that's as much as I can say for many of those areas. But you know, there's a few niggly stuff, but really there's things like this that are happening around the country. I think these things should have happened a lot sooner, a lot sooner. But here we are.
So on that note, now for tell we the good news, but how they go inside the republic. So the good news where you don't observe, where you don't see, where you don't feel, where you don't enjoy, then we will go to the bad, then possibly the ugly on other areas. Yes. So let's start with the good news. You know, this time because you frequent a salon, right? In the last 5 years. So
now I would say that everything is so relative and it's so subjective. Yeah. Because one man would tell you, say, you know, well, you know, this thing okay with me, and another person will come and tell you, say, no, it's not okay. I mean, they complain about the beach, for example, and Lonely Beach on how we did, but I'm sure there are people along Lonely Beach, we probably get the shop that day or the business that day, who are doing very, very well, making good money. And I'm very happy that plastics scatter everywhere because now from them they buy the drinks. So they're probably very happy with that people are going there, pissing all along those areas. And they're happy because they're buying beer from them that they're pissing out in the corner. For me, I do like. So it's very subjective at the end of the day. I think that, oh boy, okay. We don't already mention a few things like I'd say light, Nami area really is stable, relatively stable. I know say people are still the complaint. Water, now a major issue. And I don't know how we get for solve this, and the government really get to put concerted effort for solve water issue. And it's not going to be easy because for one reason that the infrastructure, just the infrastructure of the city, people are building in areas which you cannot possibly drop pipe in those areas for give pipe-borne water without first the government for don't go ahead and put certain layout for make
the city planning, the planning part of it.
Planning, right? Planning is a major problem because people then don't go well ahead of government planning. Definitely. So I do not know how they can solve water issues right now. I mean, dry season just don't begin for seedom now. And I will tell you plain, say not funny at all with water issue. So that is going to be a major issue. Now, I also think that we need for truly wake up to the environmental issues I hesitate for say the country, though yes, the country, but let me say Freetown. Again, see, we're going now because I know you asked me to talk about a lot of the good things that, that's what you're asking for. And it's so difficult to talk without you veering into things that are not so good or that need improvement. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. It's hard for me to just say.
Okay, go to think, but that I think Femi don't remember one or two good.
Make a help Usifu a little bit. Yeah. The good side honestly, Juma, T-boy, Usifu, as Usifu say, from which I the good side and the light. Apart from that, everything else na zero. Everything else na zero. So Usifu abeg no attitude. No attitude. I know they na the grown, but I don't did interview people them for find out how they see, waiting and see from last year to this year. And honestly, all they kept on telling me say the light's not too bad. But that's it. Well, everything else in tell me say na rubbish.
Okay, Femi. Well, here's the thing. Again, as I say, everything very, very subjective right now. When you drive, you go all around that Toke area. You go all that place. You pass Sussex, you carry on, pass number 2, you keep going, keep going now. The amount of buildings, the amount of houses that have been built in all those areas, and of course, lots of shop fronts where people in the bill for open either building materials or supermarkets and so on. All of those things then they happen all along the area now. So that area they kind of don't open up for people and for go through. And of course, for drive now, go around now Waterloo, relatively easy, relatively quick, straightforward. The road is quite good, and I did that drive a number of times. Absolutely brilliant, for do. So you get that area they don't open. Again, like I say, with everything like this, you get for really where the environmental impact still there, and I know they put on the aside. I think we get for take that very, very seriously, regardless of what kind of building structures they will be put. Freetown needs a serious attention for environment. Now, like I say, even though I said that avoid for go on waiting negative, but make us just say that it appears as if every major one of them road there so they don't put almost don't turn dirty box. In other words, as they drive along the road, on the right you see inside the non begin for to dirty already on the road. On the left, you see another one doing the dirty on the road. So waiting the community maybe, or is it government, but waiting we get for do while we they build their road here, so while we they build all these houses, them beautiful houses, them ugly houses, them, you know, whatever it is, what they put really shack them, or they put along the road them, you know, so we don't put in little thing, make it sell into here and there. While we do all of that, waste is being created. How would they manage the waste right now is like very like almost it's not even, it almost as if we know exist. There are trucks where they go around for get that definitely, and I don't see the trucks them over and over. Just like overseas, you see trucks in Canada, then they definitely. But I feel they're not sufficient. I feel that the people with it way more dirty than trucks, they even forget that dirty. And I think, you know, some place then they where I drive through, you can already see for say now other women, I don't begin so. I'll give you an example. When you left Jue, you did go towards things. On the right hand side, you already see the dirty we see on there.
Like for go to the devil hole area and stuff like that.
Yes, you already see. Then you see the smoke where they begin for Bondi. Then you left it. If you left Jue, you go as if you go towards Kalbatong now. Jue, that is you go back to town. Again, as you come towards the bridge area, the new bridge where they make massive dirty box left, right, and center. All that it is similar to like what's in the Nawatalo now, where the dirty box the bomb it is right na the road. So it's similar to what in the Ferry Junction where the bomb they right na the road. It starts by the small dirty then they where they put so. If you go towards you pass where they go on that main Kisi High Road now, as if Wellington or so they similar. Right. You see the similar things all along the road. Hill station, where you go up hill station, you see similar stuff again and not being very dirty all along the roadside. But that Regent Road, where you go, that Regent Road, where you go towards head. Right, that Regent Road. You see the similar thing again. Now, so unless something is done sooner, we get for turn every one of their road there so into proper dirty box. And the stench, the smell is just unforgiving, it's unrelenting. I don't think we just can't. If we're talking of tourism, we'll find it very hard to attract the tourists.
Again,
get along the way.
Yusuf, when you mentioned this, it bring me back to what Ashma been right earlier. How other countries deal with their issues there. We know waiting they make salon people tick. We know waiting make salon people they respond. Everybody lack money. Why we not go commercialize the dirty? Trash for cash. I pay you for bring me you dirty. Me self take you dirty, recycle them, or separate them, waiting other country they need, a care and go there, waiting we need for make to what you call a manure and other things them, we self make them. You understand? So you don't add value to the dirty, it don't become treasure wherein and it protects me dirty because I know what left me benefit from me dirty. Just like how remember that part it's got a pint, needle cup, I go buy her. But a cup self, you know, people they go, they pay. So I think things like that recycling thing will help a lot. Because then everybody benefit. Because you don't know, see you community, you people, that is what they respond to. Until you put measures in place and regulations for beginning, you know, all people are accountable for them. And that will only happen when you decentralize them, you bring them come to the community level. That's how places like Guinea able for manage then dirty business, and able for tackle the water problem. They paid for water and giving.
I mean, that's a really good point. You raised this, so I think decentralization probably go help. I know for say the mayor they try invest, but frankly speaking, she's fighting very, very, very tough uphill battle. I mean, she has a tough deal in her hand. Aside from the political, sabotage way it face in so blatantly, but as alongside just resources, just financial resources for tackling stuff within the city. And we also must understand that Freetown not go up to Regent. Regent's not to Freetown. In other words, you know what I mean? We're not within your own jurisdiction. So if we only take that small catchment area that is considered Freetown, we will find out that that area they struggle. I mean, all you got to do is go past Levuma Beach, going towards Funkia Godric area, and you see the same issue with environmental challenges. And the thing is, the more structures, business structures, what they put in those areas, the more waste therefore they generate. And therefore it means we need to generate the means for clear these wastes. So to me, I think this is some of the big challenges way I think I see. And there's a few things which I definitely love us to discuss about in terms of how, in terms of cultural arts and so on. I would like to probably cover that if possible on how they go. But I think me number one issue in being in Sierra Leone this time round is just waste management. We are being drowned in plastic, literally. We're being drowned in plastic and waste. It is alarming. And if we don't do something for tackle this, we are going to hate Freetown City. It's going to be the most horrible city, that we could ever, think of living in. And I'm not saying this out of, I'm saying it from a, I'm saying it from a right place. I'm saying it from a place of concern that this is the only city we have. Otherwise, we're going to have to move the whole city and build another place else where we can reconstruct it and take care of it in terms of the environment. And we cannot underestimate this, whether it is from the seaside, whether it's from within the city itself. Those of us who are building houses now, we must consider planting trees inside our houses. Mango tick now, not the bare mango inside Freetown because it's so polluted. The stench in many areas. So, and we cannot bury our heads and deny this. We got to face it squarely on and say, well, you know what, let's deal with it. The level of vehicles that are around and polluting is plenty. We got to really handle all of this, and again, it comes down to deserving. Do we deserve better? Do we deserve better in terms of our safety, our health, and so on? And if we do, then we're going to have to act better. Otherwise, I could not care how many millions of dollars you say you get or you have for boasting a money man. Frankly speaking, you are dirt poor. Because if the road for Guna place is as nasty as you can get, you're dirt poor. I don't care how your house might look. You are dirt poor. If you don't get water supply properly, now Bowser, now you go supply you water in a place where water everywhere and not any drop to drink, you are dirt poor. And many other things like that. So for me, I want to wrap up there. I love to look at more in terms of the culture and how the cultural arts is being affected by the economic plight that we face.
Right. Oh, all right. Over to you, Femi. I see you get something you want to add.
Yeah, I be want to say, useful right. Say the mayor gets an uphill battle. We see, or in this case, this year we hear because we're not in town. But the people that we go get at .c, the trucks that we go pick them. But Juma, the problem we have is, we have all the NTSO where they deal with the, make a call on the grassroots of the problem, or the grassroots in society, the issues them. But then then there's a jump. Useful they talk about them people where they build them masterpiece host them. We have $1 million houses being built in Sierra Leone. Yeah, then we get 7 million people them where in poverty. We can't even get able for throw away them dirty them properly. So you see, you can put small money and for make trucks and go around go get a dirty them. But if you don't do something substantial, we're gonna deal with that waste, then you're wasting your time. Then small money, then they add up to something. Then small money, then they really and truly it feels as if we they throw their money then they into the ocean. Or down the gutter or into the bins that we're supposed for the make. Because really and truly, the more congested in particular Freetown gets, the more waste human beings are going to get. With the more tourists that we get into the country, the more waste we're going to generate. When you walk up and down, we beach them. When you see the amount of plastic waste where they wash up to, we shows them, you know, the plastic bottle them, or even worse, that paper, that plastic water, not to paper, but not to the bottle, the plastic bag, that water within the drink. You know, the thousands and millions of dollars away just lay down a ground. You know, it will take an army for clear identity the properly, because nobody cares. There's no repercussion. When you drink today, you throw it, and nobody know they can hold you. You understand? So it's one thing. It's educating the people on the ground, the grassroots same, and how to deal with the waste. But then second, for provide, and not to just for go provide and cats the way they go every other day or every day go collect the waste. Waiting they happen to this waste. How will they, you know, is there landfill? Will they burn? You know, what will they do? Will they burn them? We don't want to be creating more carbon dioxide. You know, we want to burn it properly for create energy we'll go use per other thing. So put them into a furnace or something. Sorry, Juma.
Safe to burn it. It's not. I say it's not safe to burn it. It's not safe to bury it, particularly the plastic. That's the worst. When you bury them, you go there. How many hundreds of years? You
can't burn or you can't burn or bury plastic. But the other waste and the way you can burn and bury. Yeah, right. And certain the way you can burn certain waste, then it can create energy for other thing them. You know, but no, you can't just burn them in the wide open. You understand? Right. So, but you know, we're not stupid people. We get the most educated people or some of the most educated people in Africa, according to them. You know, we have all these PhDs and all these masters, all these multiple degree holders there. So you want to tell me, say the four of us sitting here are really smart, that they know we smart past them? No, we're not. These guys then get book pass we as they claim to be. Make them put them book then they into effect. You know, make them if they can't do it, make them send people and come for country in countries them who don't deal with their waste them properly. See how they do it and take their knowledge and they go free tongue and back it with money. This is a central government problem. This is not a local government problem. As soon as I say free tongue, then a certain space of time. Outside that region, there is just as bad. The only way better in a salon where you go upline. Yeah, and when you go apply now, you see the place clean. Yeah, and again when you go apply, we're gonna then big tongue then safe. Yeah, they don't begin dirty.
Correct.
So master, you go to the village now. Village now you see the clean side and salon. So really truly. So what I tell you say. So one is educating the people waiting and they do not their own local area. Like first thing and they say where they not been get wash yard, also people in the was not today then they go drink or go take water for cook. You understand? Different area than they na the river where they allocated for different thing them. So you get to understand your area and your community and what you able for duty and what you not supposed for duty. That's one. But then second, as I say, central government needs to be accountable for the entire. As you will say, there's no point in being in a mansion. If you did a mansion, you not get water, they're going to us. That's not a mansion because you not get the basic necessities that you need for live a comfortable life. But how do we tell this to our people where they in charge? How would they make them listen?
They'll tell you say now you need to talk.
How would they make them listen? How would they make them understand? Say where them beg pipe, not for beg a 1 inch underground, but now for dig. Go down, go beg, and because if you beg inside 1 inch, then they can't cut the pipe. You know, simple
And
thing like this what they do what they not realize.
Why they cut am? Because they not get water and then say
Thank you, because they need.
raw material.
So you see, so if you don't deal with it properly, you go to do them every year, you go to fix the problem.
T-boy,
let's move.
Lying you on this environment side of things. And thank you for bringing that up, Yusuf. It's very important because, again, people they complain, oh, Salon is too hot, so we they die. They not just grab a hot too. There's a reason. Oh, Salon, wow, inside December, it rain, heavy, everyone in the rain. Lord have mercy, what's in the happen? Not to magic, not to by accident. Now, what's in the happen? The environment, not the problem. And we all now the cause them. Yes, T-boy.
Salon Day at the brink of an environmental disaster. We yet to discover when and how soon. If I can clearly remember, I think about a year ago, Lonely Beach was almost cut into half. There was a landslide. We take a huge chunk of the Lonely Beach Road. When I just half number me for maybe it would split into two. We get the downside and the other side.
So that golf club area.
Yeah. So while they highlight these concerns, and I think it's in a concern we don't be in existence for quite some time now. We don't see the disaster of the climate change, the landslide, and the other kind of disaster elements that we don't happen. Again, we talk about the city Freetown. When it comes to climate change and the diverse or the dangers of climate change, it's more in existence in the provincial towns. On our way to the provincial towns a couple of years ago, there was a mile, more than miles and miles, maybe I would say about 5 miles or so of the bushes being burnt down unnecessarily, either for the purpose of farming or for the purpose of wood generation or charcoal. So yes, they see the concerns of climate change and the deaths and all the rubbish that happen within Freetown. I understand that. But the amount of climate change that happen at the provincial towns is huge. And I will make Usifu Jalloh testify to some of that as well. Going towards Kamakwie or alongside Kamakwie, there is a huge amount of reserve that has been chopped down. In the Kabala areas, again, the same thing they exist. Of course, when you go towards Koidu town area or Kono district, that has been totally demolished. At the moment in time, currently, the back of my village, when I just roughly, I would say, half an hour to an hour drive to Koidu town, is basically not in existence at some point because they don't wash and cut a lot of huge amount of reservation within at the back of my village for create road network for going to some mining field where nobody knows that it does exist in Sierra Leone. So there's a huge amount of destruction happening within the environmental structures of Sierra Leone where we just overlook and we need to take them into consideration. Our reserved area has been turned upside down for selfish purposes, not for any kind of developmental areas or something we go actually say you try to invest something into something. It's just been burnt down to create minimal amount of economy where they come into profits. So the Freetown municipality is another disaster. Like we highlight, say some of them waste also can be utilized as some form of renewable energy. We know the amount of heat where you generate from piles of rubbish. You can generate that amount of heat. It actually generates some amount of electricity for that particular area because of the kind of rubbish where they non-dump nabome, where they can be able to utilize them into some form of energy. So basically, until we have the right kind of mindset of people, the way they think positiveness for Sierra Leone, we will still be doing all this destruction, disaster that will happen in our country. We still struggle for finding solution. Like Femi said, I guess all the learned experts, degree, bachelors, masters, PhD holders within this current government and current governments in the past. But we yet to see some of the developmental strategy they put in place for make them curve down the elements of climate change. Lonely Beach is just about time. it will be overcome very soon by the ocean. And the ocean wave of along the beach, I remember, will be the play 11-11. Now, even 6 aside doesn't exist anymore.
No problem, yeah.
But people are banking the mangrove where they back of the housing stuff the way they along the beach doesn't exist anymore.
So where been there?
There is a huge mangrove where they exist yonder. It doesn't exist no more. And guess what? The sand where they underneath that mangrove there, you believe say nine back then they dig and mine and build houses and huts alongside that stretch of riverbank. Talking Bay doesn't exist no more. So we got to look at the disaster where them tries to the cause to it, but we take it for granted because it now affects the entire nation. Yes, when it affects the insides where we get a landslide, very few people suffer the consequences. Huge amount of people lost their houses. There was a time a couple of years ago, I think 7 or 8 years ago, there was a mud flood. Not a rain, mud flood. What happened in that Canigo area? It took over the one environment. Houses were filled up with mud. Not a rain, not a water, poto. Alone is at the brink of disaster, but we yet don't know the consequences of that. We take and make joke, we laugh about we environmentally the whole so-called say get, they feel say they are doing the right thing for lobby for fun and put it in their pocket. Disaster is yet to happen.
Another thing I just want for Juma, T-Boy, if you're hearing me now. I just come up Kono a few days ago. When they drive they go Kono, the bridges them certain rivers they will pass. The water, all I don't know which color, whether I go call the color yellow, or I don't know because me are colorblind, but the color all not like a yellow. And why? Because of the mining, gold mining. So a lot of the area in the type of say you go fishing, no fish not in the area anymore. All the fish don't move come out there. And again, you know, as I say, it's like I really want to wrap this up, but there's so much to talk about. But every one of them river that when we pass, all the water polluted, polluted because of gold mining. And I meet
like you say, it's not just about gold mine. There's another form of mining where they happen alongside Kono, where it's open to the public.
Well, even when I reached there, it was very interesting when you know, in a joking way some people they tell me say, hey, when the blast there, they say the blast, the people in the host and the shake when the blast for the mining,
the dynamite kind of thing.
Yes, I did think to myself, will this happen? Will this happen in England? This could happen at all. Which side and the blast people host and the shake, they could not complain.
Yes, sir. They show you the Table Mountain in Koidu town.
I see where the drive go in. I see the how they call it now, you know, just absolute wasteland that is no longer useful, not fertile. It's just hanging there. So I mean, again, maybe this is a discussion now for another day. But how do we manage? How come 100 years since diamond, they found diamond at Sierra Leone? 100 years, 1922. So now we not got one corner shop where say, look, we diamond jewelry shop. We say with the polish cut and look at the diamond necklaces we don't make, diamond watches, diamond this, diamond that. We not get one, you know, day. We got to ask ourselves questions. So what's the benefit? You understand? When I go to Kono, I go see how they call the place now, the opera cinema, when the, you know, the concert or the festival happen. The
heart of Kono. Yeah.
You understand? My God. Sorry, folks, it's just a call, just to come in. Okay. Yeah. But it's like, what is this? You understand? How can this be that this place has a place like opera? I mean, when you hear the name opera cinema, well, literally when you go in, you're thinking, come on, man.
That 90 boy take, get Boku baby them.
I mean, now that's up right now.
He said decide for more. We get opera cinema.
No, we have to be realistic with some of this.
No, it is.
Because the reason I say so, we have remarkable establishment and we don't make name na saloon. We don't make name na kono. And they don't go down to zero. Salon are the only sign no more we're not seeing the change. We know they improve. And guess what? The opera where Usifu they talk about so. They used to call it Opera Cinema. One of the most renowned buildings in Koidu town. Bang in the middle of the highway, center of Kono. If you go there right now, you go inside it. It's 100 times worse than it used to be 20 years ago.
100
times worse than it used to be 30, 40 years ago. Because I'm thinking there was no technology then. There was no proper infrastructure then. There was no proper modernized technology we were able to use at that particular point in time. But yet still, we were able to change nothing. Mota theater will not be the best possible in the whole of Sierra Leone. You know how to go there right now. The capitals of Kenema, if you go there right now, you go feel to say, if you buy like a backyard establishment, we can just make.
Imagine don't put less. There will be Vaseline.
So all the has been left deserted. Nothing happen. So basically, Koidu town, now they are going to see a man-made table mountain just behind post office road, like a stone throw. A man-made table mountain right in the middle of Koidu town.
Imagine if that they collapse from people.
Can you imagine? And all than there, that the essence of the Kimberlite mining, like we used to the talk, is true. When they fire the Kimberlite, then they get some kind of CIN where they come. These are not current. Well, I know say as current as today, but as current as 4 years ago, we left, or no, 5 years ago, I left Koidu town. When the Kimberlite term reach for me, then fire them, then they get some kind of CIN motorcar where they go across the town. But say you say Kimberlite, they can fire. And actually, they go on and they shake. You feel the tension of, because that's the only form of mining right now where they Koidu town. Illicit mining doesn't exist anymore in Koidu town. In the past couple of years, 4 years, we don't ever hear anything but the Ministry of Mines. Like it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist anymore to the eyes of men to see. One of the bread baskets of Sierra Leone. It not even they exist anymore because the amount of mining now being done in Kono, in Koidu town, or within the areas of the mining fields of diamond in Kono, is not illicit mining anymore. Now you see no diamond office, no diamond diggers, no nothing. Kono right now, I will guarantee you say practice more agriculture than anywhere in Sierra Leone. Facts. Because the reason for that, not everybody can afford Kimberlite mining anymore. That's the only form of mining that exists in Kono right now, Kimberlite mining. And there are other minerals that have been discovered that they are mining secretly in Kono, where the country knows about itself. That's why the ministry itself does not even exist anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. Whenever you can say, Ministry of Mines to talk about something today that happened. You never hear them say the cows, mines, investors, and for can mine diamond or anything as alone. It doesn't exist. It's all private entity run by government officials.
How they go away with government or the legal farm will be they help them for fet the mining case where they been get with them and mines or whatever. They owe them $8 million on legal fee.
Running private government owned established mining fields now.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. So the country not get for benefit. They don't care.
They don't get benefits.
Will not come. Yes, Femi.
It's sad.
I see the smile and shake it. Or you picture T-boy with him. Maybe they go Capital Cinema.
I did tell you. I say me swank.
The baby there with that.
I tell you, and then some of them can call me and tell me they can remind me of waiting to be in the past thing. Like Kenema and Kono, then this thing. But you know, really and truly, it is sad. A country we're so rich in minerals as we are that we can't really do anything about it. But as I said earlier on, because we governments, we haven't really done anything. Illicit mining supposed for don't stop, 2 centuries ago. Really and truly, there should be some form of, them for don't make that area they know see that area they rich in diamonds, and suppose for don't make that area they well protected, well mined properly, and make the people in the area themselves benefits from the resources. The people in a corner where you look them first when small, them they tell you say where you they want the way they corner then get money man in the corner. But when you go corner now, with Tibo Kemi go there, I was really and truly disappointed. At which I see, on the way there, we went through all these mountains and valleys of man-made mountains and valleys. Also, they don't dig in cut the land and this and that. And they are still, but they say the flat, stable mountain. It's ridiculous how so less of the money has been put back into the country for make the locals then benefit. The amount of millions and millions and possibly billions of dollars we don't come out inside salon in the last 100 years, as Usifu tell we. Una tell we really and truly outside the money then they go. We keep hearing this government in particular, they can't talk about free quality education. Really and truly, the reason why they talk sooner because 99% of we people of Sierra Leone are uneducated, undereducated. That's why they tell that rubbish day, because really and truly for provide free education at Sierra Leone, now serious work them for don't do, now study way for don't take possibly a decade for complete so that they go able to achieve and properly. Not so for just can't begin to away what they like they provide free quality education. Even America can't afford it. I was in a COVID did do well for we. I was supporting an event a few weeks back when education in America they mainly talk about. And waiting COVID don't do, COVID open up the classroom. Yeah, because first when they send we picking and go school. Okay, now America them talk about. So America them they send them picking and go school for go land. Yeah, and when you picking on common also you go to school, you not be know waiting exactly they go at the school. People them or parents and get the opportunity for see what me they happen at the schools them during COVID, because during COVID now then sit down, then they listen, then they watch, then picking and they study, then they see what and picking and they do, and then begin question the system. And Juma Tibo Usifu una mark me words, in the next 10 years the American public school system as it is at the moment is going to collapse. And these are from experts them who are Sidona events within the talk about. Yeah, experts them in education in America, because the American system not able for cope with the amount of money where it go take for change the system. Not to anybody in fault to, but the system as it is at the moment, it is inviable. And for make them change them, it go take a lot of money. But then get for doing, because right now then say don't realize say the system within this and the school not viable. So you see what they say it go take over 10 years. But that will happen, but it will be in 10 years time, because then get for go fend the way we then get for structure the system. So if you imagine say certain people and kind of power them begin tell we say within 6 months then go give free education as a loan, it means say really and truly they don't know what they're doing. They haven't got the experts that we go sit down and analyze what needs to be done. You understand? Really and truly, Sierra Leone.
But they don't like the sound of that.
They don't like the sound of people and telling the truth. Because they think they know it all. As I said before, if you don't know something, employ the people that know. Employ the people that will go able for help. Certain of them people as we don't go take them position they need as Sierra Leone have never held a proper administrative job in their lives. Let's talk true. We sabi some of them. Not also T-boy. Some of them now party them.
Then they come to the election
for just doing a quick highlight on Koidu town. Back, I would say 40 years ago or 50 years ago, Koidu town begets some area with them called Yengema. Yengema was basically the Europe of Koidu town, possibly the Europe of the eastern part of Sierra Leone. What's the they say so? Yengema now a small town where being host the NDMC headquarters. whereas the NDMC was a National Diamond Mining Company headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the days, if you now a child of a staff of the NDMC, you are living a very comfortable and middle-class lifestyle. Now you live now, salon. If you are a son or daughter of anybody where they work in the NDMC, even as a porter, your life is stable. You have a quality. But
T-Boy, why that lifestyle for only be reserved for the people there where they work there and not everybody where get to suffer the consequences of the exploitation?
Okay, let me tell you why. The reason being, NDMC was a National Diamond Mining Company where they look after their staff. It's an entity. Mm-hmm. And like Erigo said, if you work for Bank of Sierra Leone, you have certain privileges, right? So that privilege where the type of talking about, so now privilege were specifically geared to staff, children, or beneficiaries of staff of the National Diamond Mining Company. They have their own supermarkets. When I say supermarket, properly run. Now, they can't almost say I would tell me they back in the days, isn't it?
I know, but what are they say? Why that lifestyle for only be reserved for staff?
It is
and not and left out the majority where they suffer the exploitation, because that's what's happening now. People in government, where then a government position, then picking and they live more than a comfortable life.
Okay, so now you're talking about people in governance. We are talking about an industry.
But NDMC was a government industry.
Again, NDMC was run in Koidu town. The people of Koidu town were the ones suffering the consequences of NDMC. Now, make a difference. If you are not a member of staff of the National Diamond Mining Company, you still have enough privileges if you live within Koidu town. Remember, I said, Kono, maybe they go there first, they take parcel. Yeah. So basically, it was not an open ground. So every individual, you will take pass for actually go inside Koidu town. So when you enter into Koidu town, it means you have the privileges of the opportunities that were inside Koidu town, because one, then we get not one, but very good quality hospital. Then we get Yengema Road Hospital, where being run by Dr. Sukutamba. You have hospitals run by private entities. You have proper establishments. We have Catholic secondary schools, primary schools. The establishments in Koidu town, in Kono, about 40 years ago, cannot be compared to what it is right now when modernity don't kick in place, when technology is almost voting at the norms in society now. These are the times when people, maybe they run their structures and they not get bachelor's degree, PhD degree, master's degree, or any kind of degree where you go compare them with. Right. The Jama Swafe Secondary School was the school of that particular area. If you attend Jama Secondary School, you are clued up. Even if you go to Form 4 level, you will be a proper secondary school teacher because of the kind of knowledge and the impact in you.
Right.
If we know they improve, and we then make all these excuses that where the resources that will be getting is limited. Now that we have enough resources and technology has improved, we just the decline. Come on.
They don't give una university, una get common university. When I go to Femi, then I can't to use to that part of the free quality education. I don't know.
White elephants
then after Femi, I can't to Usifu Jalloh begin to look whose side we they go as we they round up. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, just want I don't know if not the owner a power T-Boy, but I think so. Usai T-Boy they try for Camfcom now for say when those days when Koidu Town was Koidu Town, resources were there for the people of Koidu because there was a lot of influx of people who been a good day. It was a very attractive area to be in. That then build certain infrastructures them around for cater for them people in there. As some of the things with T-Boy say, the schools, the hospitals, the club, the cinema, things them way go able for attract more people and for come. Yeah, because we then can they not more than come for car walk, but people in the camp they can trade for the people who in the camp for can dig. So the more people in the camp, then you provide resources them, then the money, not all the money they come out, they go na streets. Some of the money they end up in the area, and I think certain people is for say people in the area benefited. But yes, Juma, you're right. It should benefit the whole of the country. It should benefit the whole of the people of Koidu. It should benefit the whole of the people of Sierra Leone. But also, it get for begin. It get for begin for benefits the people that we actually physically did it. Because if you not benefit them, trust me, US don't have free tongue, it not get for benefits you. Because we all see when the international mining companies and they come, although sometimes they provide a certain amount of money them we supposed for them put we country in some kind of better shape. But we know say most of them money then they were swindled out of the country. Then build railway station. Then build railway station na from the mining area the way they carry and go straight na Waterside. So basically, you know almost of we minerals then we boycott any kind people and for watch waiting there inside the train then they because then just go empty inside boats, the boats boom carry and go.
Not go far. Let this government take over all the bauxite we've been there at the town Kolili area. Then pass a moratorium. But then smuggle all out of the country to China. Now they no more no border. Then smuggle them out. Then ban the company they be the mine, but then smuggle them out of the country. Right in nobody no. But let's go to Yusuf. Yusuf, you passionate about culture, tourism, and that don't more or less dominate this conversation. So whose side will they go? But you think say that now one avenue. A missed opportunity right now and an avenue where we think say we can use for turn things around. Because we don't see other countries like the Senegal, the Ghana, you name it.
Well, I go make a very bold statement now, but I think it's a very true and realistic statement if we dig deep. The salvation of Sierra Leone is entirely dependent on we honoring we culture. And I go repeat them. The salvation of Sierra Leone is entirely, not part, entirely dependent on we honoring we culture. You see, words where I say this, Juma, what's in na culture? Culture is defined as a way of life, how we live, not so. So literally, if we're going to make it, how we live, now go determine how we get for really, how we will really survive and make things happen. How we live. So we as Sierra Leoneans, we're going to ask ourselves, how are we living? How does the environment within which we live in, they determine how we live? In other words, when the season comes, there's a way we live. When the season comes, there's a way we live. When Hamatan comes, there's a way we live. When harvest comes, when mango season comes, there's a way we live, and on and on and on and on. So, we culture is dependent, and we culture is shaped in many different ways. We fish the way we get now with water, then they come during certain time, during certain tides, during certain seasons. You'll get more bunga fish or sardine or herring or or sheephead or whatever, all based on certain aspects of environment. The way where we live right now, will this way where we live sustain with culture? This way we live, we're able to sustain all the ecosystem because the ecosystem are very much part of with culture. Now, so that now one angle of looking at the aspect of how we live and so on. The other aspect very important now the arts, the cultural arts. The cultural art itself is an expression of who we say we are, of how we define ourselves. So the cultural arts, so whether we beat Bubu as an art form describes who the Timini people are, their songs, their way of life, and so on. So does the Yamama, so does the Good Boy, so does the Matoma, all of these different art forms, the basket they will weave, the bracelets they will make, all of these speak volumes as to in terms of defining who we are as a nation, in terms of the national identity. This is not these aspects of life are not necessarily determined by the politics. They're not defined. It's all about the culture. It's the arts reflect these things. Okay, so if the arts are the things that tell us as Sierra Leoneans or tell the world who we are, you know, when you go to Jamaica, as you hear reggae music, nobody not get any doubt for say reggae in Jamaica. And it tell you about the Jamaican people to a large degree. So they get down soul, so they get ska and all that. Then you go to Nigeria, you get there, you go to South Africa, they get different arts with the explain certain things. For Sierra Leone, if you talk of Nomoli, you begin to talk of, then you begin to go deep into Sierra Leone and parts of Liberia as well. If you talk of the Bondo Masquerade, you could talk of Sierra Leone and also parts of Liberia as well. And it goes on and on. So, if we are, no, let me not say, let's look at it in two ways. Number one, if we say people they want to come to Sierra Leone, if we want to talk to people about Sierra Leone, maybe people can spend money in Sierra Leone, we're going to have to talk about we cultural art. In other words, we're going to talk about that which we use to express who we are, because people they want to know we are Sierra Leoneans. So what are those things? Are we investing in that thing, those arts where people they want to see, where we will be proud for say this nine of Sierra Leone, the bubu, the tenke, again as I say the matoma, even in Wibondo, even in I mean just all those other things. We gara, we ronko. Are we investing in all of these things? We granite cake, we benny cake, we honey, all the make and so on. Are we investing in some of these things? Okay, the country clothes, we gari and so on. Because these are the things when people come and boast for say, look at this. Today I cook tula. When I don't cook the tula, I boast to me paddy when a Bayesian or Barbados person, I boast to and say, look me tula. And I ask me, how is it spelled? What is this tula? I was proud to go into the internet, YouTube. This is how you prepare tula. I send them to all the way in Barbados for sell the idea of tula to us. See, next week come, oh, it looks so nice. I'd love to try it. We begin to look at the health benefits of tula, because she's interested in nutrition and events management. So all of a sudden, just from me boasting, say we put tula, there's a whole different area of event management coming up and looking at other things that come out of tula. So we culture in that way, we arts in that way could help the economy build. Now, are we investing in this? I can tell you plain, we're not. The other aspect where I've also mentioned this is that if we say we go to school for learn science or history or whatever it is that we say we go learn, technology should be created and used to promote your culture. That's what it's supposed to be. It's to serve your culture. It's to serve your art. So a performer go in a performance stage, we need light. So somebody will understand science or let's say all the physics and they create light, push for the performer. For the we all enjoy it. Without that performer, what you need that light there for? Okay? Same with the microphone and on and on and on. What you need to see what they do in Sierra Leone is that they employ technology more or less for knockback with your cultural arts and disregard them. And we feel to say no.
Competition, technology versus culture. Yeah.
Exactly. And it shouldn't be like this. Technology should be there to support. And it's like what they say, they put makeup on your face for enhance your beauty. That is what technology should do. It should be there to enhance our culture, to enhance our way of life. So if we not see it this way, no wonder up till now, we still get university, we not develop machinery for both was the cassada, peel the cassada, greater the cassada, and make curry. That is why. So we not think of that way. When by now, if we only think of the machine, we make benike quick one, bag and put them, put them on the market for sale. By now, we should have developed machines like this. We break them, bang, 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 we go sell them. But we still go China. So I just to say that we know they look very well how we work in the arts. Now, what bring this up more for me was that last weekend, Thursday, Friday it was, I go watch a dance competition. I think there's a group called Ompa or Oompa also. Then put on a cultural dance competition. My goodness, the talent of young people I see on stage, may not be one of the judges then. The immense talents from the single dancers, women as well as men. So the group dancers, my God, these young people, they dance, they perform as Sido Adiala. I say, wow. But where is the investment in all of this for make these young people spread out? And there's, we were there abroad. There's all these America's Got Talents and all these different stuff where they bring in all these dances and people perform and so many other things. And I think that, whether it's the banks them or whether now other businesses them, whatever, the need for invest properly into all of these things. Now, of course, there's the area of the artists themselves in terms of looking at professionalism and how they have to conduct themselves. But that can all come into play when we seriously begin to invest in the cultural arts. It's there languishing. And worse of it, where is the National Dance Troupe? The National Dance Troupe is but almost non-existent in the country. And I really think that needs to be looked into if we get for develop the tourism. And these are very important areas if we, for make we develop the country as a whole. Because when people they want to see the arts, and the arts include even we traditional architecture, we traditional huts. All of that is inclusive in all of these things. You understand? How do we research these things? To me, I think that bothered me apart from the environmental issues. But this is one area that really bothered me, that we have such immense talent, but we're not investing enough in it. The sad part to it for me is that politics has gone into it. And when the politicians are not going into this, then they use this bubble identity, then they, like a past species. Just use them, give them 2-3 couple, then dump them along the wayside. So, and it shouldn't be like that. These artists should be looked after and given security even by laws that are passed to protect their intellectual property rights and on and on and on. But I would love to see very soon within the country where we really begin to invest in the cultural arts. Failing that, all we will get a patchy stuff, few talents here and there, but really nothing really significant. And these artists themselves have got to eat. They have to eat every day. So we've got to figure out a way to pay them well and respect the art. Otherwise, what's in the happen is that the artists then they left them true talent for try to imitate something else or someone else with a view to say, this one is popular, but not doing it well, doing it very badly. So you get an artist like a Fantasy, where they sing in Kuranko, they perform in Kuranko. One of the very few we actually stick loyal to and she's seeing the benefits of just being herself. And I think that we've got these so many young talented people, and they're asking for is to be themselves. Juma, I saw boys balancing on knife, then they balance cups on knife, like pile them up on knife. They were better than I mod. That's why they balance. I get all the pictures of this, and I'm like, my goodness me. What are we doing with all of this? We're wasting it. But I hope, I mean, another good thing, let's put another good thing here, is I get a conversation with Dr. Alaji Njai. Dr. Alaji Njai gets a project what they call Project 1808. Right. Where now we look for put together a whole new curriculum that looks at decolonizing the education system as a whole. So that then pardon with it Balanji, farmers, storytellers, we will bring them come as professors, where they can teach their art. And we will train them on how to teach effectively. That is one fantastic move where they happen, and we have to go through this process. You know, he's been granted the green light to go ahead to set it all up. So we look at the curriculum development at the moment for that, because not everybody, you know, should be doomed and gloomed because they're not a bit of English or because they're not past English. Not everybody. We have many intelligent people who are out there who can pass on knowledge that we need so desperately. And also, I must talk that, you know, very soon I plan the National Storytelling Festival, where they come on 3rd of February. Again, it's another massive thing. Again, we've got thousands of young people who all they compete in storytelling. Now, let me tell you the interesting thing about this, Juma. Then they compete in 3 categories. One category is in English, who side they do creative storytelling. So in other words, you create your story and you tell the story. So each school they compete in. That's one. The second category is storytelling in your own folk language. Yes, that's the second category. The third category is storytelling about historical places or people. Now, I find the third category incredibly, incredibly important, because now, why make Kenema is called Kenema? Why is Magboruka called Magboruka? Why is, you know, Bo called Bo? Now the young people now then they go are now on research now, so they go engage their parents, their grandparents, them for know these stories. Why make this place like this? Plus, with the people. Whether, you know, of course, the automatic name that comes to head straight away is Baibure, Madam Yuko, and so on. But there are many, many more people in Sierra Leone who have amazing history. You know, Haidara Kontofili. Not many people know about him. Who was he? So I'd encourage young people to come up with story about these people. But I know one lady just can't tell me historical facts. You know, tell me Haidara Kontofili, or tell the audience Haidara Kontofili. Yeah, that one day we blow whistle, tick the for them. I'm looking at being a bit more creative on how we tell these stories about these people and places and so on. So that so it just, you know, it's more drama. Come on, they've made Spider-Man. They've made we call a Spider, but Spider-Man does all these adventures. You know, Stone Man, Fireman, you know, Hulk. All of these things.
We don't know. We need a pool. Only watch. You don't even understand. Only dance.
but that's the thing.
And we need a pool. Use that for education, for this, for that. What is on the Kumgado? That's what we need a pool.
Yes. So I want for make the them begin for think a lot more out of the box when they are thinking of these people that they have, because then when you begin to make films, you can make many different types of films around these figures just using imagination. But the important thing is that the name of that figure still remains, and that those things begin to attract people to come to your country, and when they come they spend money. All this is the arts, all this is cultural arts, and we get tons of these stories there. Make I just share this one story with you where I go experience in my village. When I go to Kamakoni, there's a place called Kamakontang na Kamakoni. When you go Kamakontang, the water, the small stream where they there, during rainy season, the water it dry out, it low. During dry season, you see it come up. Now,
interesting.
Yes, then consider this place sacred. So nobody, they don't allow anybody just for good at the source of inside the water they come out. Only special people that have been gone through certain ceremonies to allow for godong that the society what they call it. Okay, Kamakontang is there. Also, the other part of Kamakontang, now they don't bury a lot of the ancestors. We part away from the founders of the villages that they bury them there. Thirdly, 10 become every year where the people in the village like Kamakoni and all the other small villages, and then they go get a day. So Juma, if you want to be tailor, you make like a fake with wood, like a sinner sewing machine, you peel them, because you say you want to be a tailor. If you want to be a carpenter, a mechanic, a driver, you make
so you wish, you carry you wish and your aspiration to the
very good. Now, then they will make the offerings now. Then go put two fall, one white, two white fall. They will kill the one, and the other one they will left and make ingo, right inside the bush. So then they go kill cow as well. All these are offerings. Then go cook, they eat, then they. So when I then at the bush, now I begin to think, what's the significance of this? And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. Juma, the Quran, the Bible say mortal man na doti then take make we not so. Therefore, show me one thing, anything we not to doti come out. All the technology we use so right now, na doti come out. This doti don't they billions of years before you, me, and you mortal man come. The trees are not long before we. We are an accumulation of doti. Now we mango we eat, orange we eat, and a doti come out. So really, we're just an accumulation. So what will people then they do? Therefore, if you desire anything, go to the source, Usai, all thing come out, and go ask for that thing if will come to you. Now, if you know for say that doti, that na the source they come out, will you abuse it? Right.
You're not supposed to.
You go honor that doti, you go honor that tick day, you go honor the leaf day, you go honor that water day, you go hold them as sacred because you know for say you come out from the earth. You did not come to this world, you came from the earth. And that's significant. Very important for we understand that we came from. And so when I go to Kamakontang, I see what people let me know what they do. This is how they kept the environment. They kept it all together in thinking like that. So what's for me, it's like when we're looking at the arts, I'm saying that we're neglecting all of these things that are major economic sources where they engage the people at large for the one who will just to go school, come out school and come and get PhD or get BMA, there you go fellow. We're ignoring all of these other amazing stuff that can turn in billions and billions of dollars for we, and includes everybody, creates massive employment. And all would it take now just somebody way because you don't go learn a MA, BA or whatever it is, you don't have one office, the still inside air conditioner and they take big up and still doing nothing. So I may go like foresee a point where we begin to think, how do we invest in the cultural arts in relation to massive economic development and environmental sustainability as well? That for me is where I'm at with all of this, my experiences here so far.
That's deep, and then they don't answer with question all. So we get big work. Again, this talk not on starts today, but it's doable, it's possible, it's feasible. Are we ready? That's the big question. So T-Boy, your roundup statement for today's program with that. Are we ready? Is it going to happen? Or next year, when they talk about how they go inside the Republic, now all the bad and the ugly. Because we'll ask about the good. We all struggled. Waiting at the good. Femika, oh, now lights, no more. Yusuf not cheat. Even when Yusuf want try for wallpaper the thing, he only hate back. He say, I know we will talk about the good if I not compare this. T-Boy says, hey, Yusuf, why they are cheat? So now that they will go continue for our tweet. Over to you, rounding up statements, T-Boy.
I think the good thing about the whole thing what they do now, the facts we talk about, that's the good thing of it all. Because at the end of the day, if we don't sit and talk about this, that means we're not really serious about it. And sometimes I can always say, people that can feel say, yes, what we are doing is a lot of work, we talk about cool, we spend time with all and research there and consider them and discuss them. Okay. But don't underestimate the amount of changes within kind talk as well the doing, because I'm not for say for sure there are people watching, there are people looking, there are people listening, and majority of the people that are watching, listening, and looking at what we are doing are either taking actions behind the scenes that nobody sees them, or they take out some of the pieces of the things they already say and put them into effect. So I'm not free to say it just go down the drain just like that. But we should always have the knowledge and the zeal, strength, and energy for highlight some of them concerns they also. Because if let me say we don't have the masters, PhDs, or professorial degrees them for the see outside them flaws here so they. And the people that we get the capacity are failing to identify some of the issues they have to talk about. So we go for begin look at things then very keenly and very close to home. Because home to we na salon. It doesn't matter whether you don't in the diaspora for 40, 50 years, it's still not home. It doesn't matter whether you were born in this country, if you are of a black parental heritage, here is still not home. It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter how you do things or which sort of opportunities you have here, you will still feel the difference at some point in your life. When you feel the difference of who you are back where we call home, you will do something about it. And that is exactly what we are doing. So I go on to say thank you to we guest Usifu Jalloh for being here tonight and get some in for the very first New Year program. Although we might be thinking, oh, the cultural show, yeah, let's bring the cultural show back in place. But I think this is an opener for us to know the value of what we culture stand for. We don't talk about a lot of issues that we're surrounded by with culture, with tourist attraction, with natural disaster. And one thing we want to make mention of now the fact say, we not get Christmas where we double them the commodity, they don't come out for the past 5 years. This now 5 years in a row, where Christmas is only being celebrated by very few people who might take the opportunity and do the devil masquerade just because they feel say, okay, well, we do them anyway and break the law and see what the law will do about it. But there has never been any form of masquerade where they stop in China, when they get the Chinese New Year, when they get the devil masquerade them. Where don't they happen for the past 100 years? And it is one of the most attractive attractions during that particular China New Year Eve celebration day. Again, inside London, they've done everything possible for cancel the London Notting Hill Carnival. But that's the only thing that belongs to the Black community that they celebrate every year regardless. Again, inside London, the Glastonbury Festival, it has been in existence from time immemorial. And the only thing where I think say not happen are during COVID, and that's safe. Immediately after that, you don't kickstart back again. So there are certain rights and things the way people in the do in this country when a traditional stuff then when again nothing for do.
Edinburgh Festival still they go on.
Edinburgh Festival is still going on. I've witnessed several different types of Edinburgh Festival. So basically I know what it is. You get a lot of huge performing arts really come up from all over the world who come for celebrate the Edinburgh Festival. So let me look at them. Cultural celebration there. So because we don't lack that for the past couple of years, it has been a total ban for us Sierra Leoneans to practice our own culture. What a disaster for a nation. And not see which country when they stop their own practical cultures then not for their existence, just because they feel to say it's devilish. What's in the way devilish past the Disneyland? What's in the way devilish past that? Because at the same amount of masquerade where they happen at Disneyland, possibly even worse, compared to where we get we own traditional masquerade they will get in a saloon. Because Disneyland is cartoon characters being masked. It's the same amount of mask that we put up in our own culture. Again, nothing for those
again, T-boy. Now, then they showcase we own culture. Then we own masquerade them, we own stuff, but we they kick we own.
So,
but we go light Christmas tree. We not even last tall or long.
Eh?
We not tall or long for reach the star. So they make. For lighter, for put the star up or whatever. It may work.
You get problem. I don't think you get problem. But anyway,
carry on, continue.
No, you don't cut me feeling. But anyway, on a very serious note, let's really think about what in 2023 get for do when it comes to our cultural practices and how they take effect of and become positive Sierra Leoneans in practicing our culture. We always ask this question: what culture do we have as Sierra Leoneans? We struggle for answer that question because we not embrace them as much as we should. Because we not grab them for make we feel proud or say we are Sierra Leoneans. Only when it comes to success, you see some Sierra Leoneans and they get there and they want to talk about them. But when it comes to difficulties, nobody wants to identify themselves as Sierra Leoneans. I remember back in the days when there was Ebola in Sierra Leone. That's when we realized how many Sierra Leoneans we are actually working in some kind esteem establishment, and because they were discriminated against, because they knew that they had some ties with Sierra Leone. Because all Ebola created was, if you are from Sierra Leone, the trace of Ebola can be transferred to you, because like if it is in a generation course or something where they pass on from one generation to the next. So let me value where we are from. Look, we value what to make we Sierra Leoneans. Look, we value the small elements of culture we they in we, and look, we practice them to the fullest without being stopped, without being accused, without being pointed at to say we are devilish or we are evil or we are this or we are that. But guess what? If we be in the practice we culture the way we great ancestors then be the practice, I think so we will still live peaceful in this current world that we live today. Because there are still extreme amounts of cultural practices in some parts of Europe and in some parts of Asia and possibly in some parts of Africa. And guess what? People from all over the world will pay their money to go and be part of these cultural practices that were still maintained for decades and centuries past, and they practice that particular culture there. You have people that are in Brazil, in the rainforest of Brazil, where still they refuse for wear clothes, where still they refuse for be modern, where still they refuse for do anything they get for do the modern culture. People and they fly all the way, pay their money, or go be part of that culture there and experience them for a week. And then we they take we own, we they deprive ourselves and stop with people and for practicing it. Let 2023 be the year of change, where we will foresee and value what make we be Sierra Leoneans. Like our opening earlier on, this 2023 is going to be a year of history. A year of turning around from negative to positive things that really happen for we countries alone. And if it doesn't happen, we pray it does. But at any given point in time, if it doesn't happen, it will be one of the darkest periods in our history. And we don't want that to happen. So please, let's be positive about our culture. Let's be positive about who we are as Sierra Leoneans. And let's be positive about what in 2023 get for Brinkham for we. The country is in our hands, and we have to make the best of it. We only have a couple of months to go to see how much of a change governance we can have in Sierra Leone. And we will talk about that from now on, right to the 10 we then go see election they happen at Sierra Leone on June 24. So continue for the watch week, because we get forget series of different kind of discussion programs then with diaspora so-called representation. They will forget we want for be MPs, we want for be executive members of the various different political parties, we want for go for stand now then constituencies them in Sierra Leone, and we'll hold them accountable before they even start, because the diaspora get one of the biggest bad reputation in Sierra Leone for the past 20 years. We don't want that to be a regular occurrence for diaspora then, because some of we then are then part of the warrior, so we still get good intentions for go and work and deliver some of the professional skills they will get in Sierra Leone. But if the bad one and don't go poorly for we, some of you not be able to go for exercise, then kind of hold the new one for good, because then go say una all not the same. One for stop that. So we will begin hold them accountable and put them to task and ask them what's not the question, then we will feel to say them political parties they're not going for ask them, because they will favor them. We need a time for tarnishing our character, we need a time for making us look bad, but it's just about asking you guys, what can you do different or better or enhance the position we can take? Where somebody we don't do it for the past 5 years, we don't do nothing. So from time to time, we're gonna watch the space, because we'll come up with things and like that very soon. So thank you very much.
Thank you
for joining us tonight, and we'll definitely get you from time to time. And like you say earlier on, you try as much as possible for bring back the culture show at the platform. And every other shows back again, we still work on a few things behind the scene. We'll bring down some changes for you guys. Over to you,
Thank you so much, T-Boy. Before I go to Femi for roundup, I just want to remind you, through you, the extent we invite to Dr. Alaji Insai. You know, we look forward to hosting him for talk about all the exciting things we in and team then they do. We don't hear so much more time. So with the extent we invite, you know, through you to I'll go to Femi quickly, then we'll give Yusuf last word for today's program. Femi, over to you.
Okay, thanks you, Juma. Yeah, a few things I want to mention. You know, let's start with the culture, because today was supposed to be, you know, we look at culture, entertainment, and, you know, we gladly forget Usifu with we back again, especially we didn't have grown, especially we don't see certain cultural events and take place at all, able for camp, really and need to we follows them. You know, when I start off with the whole carnival thing, and Tibo just done they talk about, you know, other countries then they upholding their own culture them. You know, the carnival in the West Indies is part of their culture. It's part of their culture. They bring down the can to Europe, in England in particular, where they come on the Windrush boat, where they come one way for make them member and for unite themselves, because they're in a foreign land. I mean, for gets together and then form this thing called the Notting Hill Carnival. We don't go on for decades and decades and decades. This year we see a bunch of Sierra Leoneans them unite with some Caribbeans them and take and go Sierra Leone. You know, it's a great thing. You know, it show people they enjoy themselves with streets and block, cause all that kind of issues them with some people are not being envisaged they come. Even with Ministry of Tourism enjoyed herself with all waiting been happening as well. You know, it's just a shame that, as T-Boy say, we own culture, we ban them, but yet we embrace other man and culture. You know, that's the sad thing about this whole thing. You know, it was good to see something different, something fresh, but then it make remember now waiting we the loss we save. You know, if we could only be proud enough of our culture to be able to enjoy them and then sell them to the rest of the world in we own way, it would have been good. But as Usifu pointed out to us several months ago, we see some of we own cultural artifacts them. Then are European museums them, would they see people and they take we own cultural artifacts and they make dance, they do their own things every time. We in no way not that they know the benefits alone, because they tell it in their own stories, then put on their own museum them. So we have nothing to benefit from there. A few years ago, possibly I think I've been the 50th anniversary. You know, there was a massive cultural campaign in Sierra Leone on that and on that Independence Day, where all kind culture come out, all kind dance troupe come out, all kind masquerade come out, you know, and it was enjoyable. Shaka Stevens Street in particular was a brilliant place to be. I remember we sat at different points in the street and film till we end up na front commercial bank by Cotton Tree, by commercial bank like they would do. And you know, it was amazing. You know, Tibo Juma been talk about putting the star on the tree. We see Mami Paga the long and short, Mami Paga the long and short. No, my partner in the line longer. Then Gunuguru the long and short. Gunugunu the long and short, Gunugunu the long and short. To see Mami Paga in the work and I steals them. You know, it's incredible. And talking about steals, I have a former workmate. We actually been there at the British Army the time where we've been get with civil war in Sierra Leone, and one of his duties was to drive a high valued British personnel from Beachside the hotel been there for car inside town. And he told me the stories, and he tell me about one time where them pass up na the hills them, and he see some host them wait him up on stills. He said the person where the guy tell and say made them stop. They were amazed at these houses in West Africa with him up on stills. Because the only time that we don't know see something like a dandy now picture book them with them in the sea in ancient days, them in England, in America. We have all them things in there, but we're not proud of them. We don't look after them. They also and they already now they still same. Now the hills same, not a Wilberforce area. Is anybody actually looking after these properties?
Hill station.
Some of them also and they for dumb guys now. You know, people are wait up. They can't even afford to upkeep them. We not realize it's something in there. They are supposed to be something there where we for actually treasure. You know, there's so many things that we will not do right and Sierra Leone. We they look at say, yeah, we want this, we want that, we want this, we want that. But you should say, we are not holding our leaders responsible. You know, they owe us better. They owe the countries of Sierra Leone better. We employ them. We elect them for a reason. Because they promise for deliver. So the people of Sierra Leone need to have them, you know, to hold them accountable when they do not deliver. And for me, then the biggest problem. We don't accept, say, we're always going to be in this terrible state and nothing not the way we will do for change them. Yes, things and they we need for hold them accountable, make them give we more because they promise we more. We know say money they can at the country, we know say not get for easy, but the biggest advantage we get at salon now with population, it is very low. That means say it is not hard to provide for 7 million people. It is not hard to provide for 7 million people if only you have the heart to do so. You know, and then they really and truly monitor me every day. I make a couple of notes them of something Sinewabwa ask una but we will not get chance to talk about CD. You know, they said the Leones finished 2022 as the lowest currency in Africa. How could that be possible? Then promise we say with the change of the old Leon to the new Leon go bring stability calm. You know, what happened there? You know, what happened there? Why we country, the older than they try for change, the change when they bring calm always seems to be for the worst rather than for the good. Then the last year I want to talk about now the building of houses. You know, we don't talk about and we don't talk about the waste. You know, really and truly, guys, do all of us have to build houses in Sierra Leone? You know, waiting at this run for bill hosts, why government's not able to take control of this need for housing and create affordable homes where they go build their hosts and they properly, you know, with structured planning so that nobody no go build a gutter or go billion there and put them together and build affordable houses where people are able to afford for living. Because when you left and to me, you and everybody else will do as we wish with no control, now you make who they go build us na dirty box. Though they complain to dirty box no day. But anybody who thinks in aloud, they lie, make them ask. T-boy, that central bridge, name am for me. Where then go build big massive hostel. Me I shock where I go salon, I go sit down there.
Coco na God rich.
You can't imagine till like a dandy. We pass to that place say, all the time we small to so. What they pass for go Eastern, we pass for go Manzico together.
Yep.
I go Sierra Leone years ago and meet big hostel map there. I was shocked. Then we dey wonder, but this will always happen because people like me, you, and everybody will they do for waiting good for we. Because there's no control, we will carry on doing waiting good for we, even though it might not be good for we neighbor them for the country. But if governments take all NTR so into consideration, then half of these problems will not be. Because if them build affordable houses, them me, you, and everybody not go build us. Only developers will build, and we will buy or we will rent from developers. So for me, I say there's many things that we country supposed for they do. We're not a big thing them, just small thing them. We'll go make big change now we country, but because they know why, I guess it's not in their interest. They would let the country for make the country just ambog so that then go able for do all their own business thing. But anyway, on that note, Happy New Year to you guys. Thank you for joining us. And thank you, Mr. Usifu Jalloh, for joining us today. It's been interesting having you on board. Happy New Year. I know say the struggle not easy at all, but we doff we hearts to you and all the other JC them. We go holiday. We pray God. Say God bring una all and care una all gonna una host them back safely, and the families them and friends that they left na Africa. We pray to God, may God provide for them, make them go able for be self-sufficient. Or if they're not able to be self-sufficient, may God give you the resources them who will be able to help them. But more important, may God give you the governments, the God-fearing governments will go provide for we people them. And for take some of that burden off we within the diaspora with the supports with people in our salon.
Thank you so much. We'll go back to Usifu Jalloh for in last word for today's program.
Well, my last word always border around know yourself, not to cause not good advice. And I'm your own kind of last word. When you know yourself, you will know how to take care of yourself, you respect yourself. So I think Sierra Leoneans, if there's anything, that's not the main thing. Look, take care of ourselves. Really look, take care of ourselves. And ourselves means every aspect of we culture, of we land. This year, National Storytelling Festival, which is on the 3rd of February in a City Hall. The theme is My Life, My Land, My Culture, Peaceful Day. That's the theme. That's the theme for the Storytelling Festival this year. And I'm going to get loads of young people and schools across the country all taking part in this competition. And it's part of my own way for bring more awareness to the culture and for create a much more sharper generation for the future. We will learn for a patriotic way to look after the country. So my life, my land, my culture, peaceful day. Now we day on. I hope say we all will carry that message day. My life, my land, my culture, peaceful day. And the one that my family them as we roll into the election where they come ahead. May peace reign over we land, we life, and we culture.
Thank you so much, Yusuf and Fambule. They listen to me. I think it's been a refreshing program, a good way to start the year 2023 on CRGM Media. And we will continue for the Utunana and bring more programs, more so the health show, the health show, of course, and of course the culture show, Nayaso, and how they go inside the Republic and other exclusive. We go then next week. The next week is going to be what a bombshell, but we will announce them. So make sure you connect on Facebook and YouTube because you will miss out. It's going to be controversial, or very interesting. So as Yusuf say, this the story we then get for do the theme now, what you call me life, me land, and waiting land if you be the pay attention.
me land, me culture, peace for day.
Me life, me land, me culture, peace for day. Just like how we can say on Sierra Leone media that too art for talk, but na in no more they bring peace. And as Yusuf say, this year we dey get elections. So if a member say you vote, now you life. Because you life, you land, you culture, and peace for day. Until next week, me Jumaba on behalf of the Sierra Leone media team, they say tata. Now good night.
Yes, this na term for all Salon people and them party them. Sierra Leone Media will be bringing you a variety of programs ranging from documentaries to discussions, interviews, news, views, sports, and entertainment. Our programs will contain matters on development, governance, the economy, and issues that are of importance to Sierra Leone. So, no left BNO because we get Bebe program then like Salon discussion, meets the ministers, the president's hour and the Gladi program, Look Me, I Look You. All this they start soon na www.sierragemedia.org. Now who's tem these?
Hello, my name is Josephine Kamara. I'm the founder of You Can Do It Foundation. You Can Do It Foundation is a charitable organization based in Sierra Leone, West Africa. You Can Do It Foundation has been in existence for the past 2 years. We have been fighting gender-based violence against women and girls within the community. During the past 2 years, we have been offering psychosocial support, counseling, court fee, medical fee, including school items to the survivors of gender-based violence. However, during the lockdown of COVID-19, report received and confirmed that rape cases among a minor has increased tremendously within our community. Because of this, You Can Do It Foundation has secured the land to build an accommodation for the survivors of rape. However, this may almost become impossible without your generous support. We need your help to build this home for the survivors. Your help could be in cash or in kind. If you wish to join us to make a difference in a child's life, please go to our website, which is www.youcandoitcyf.org, or you can go to our GoFundMe page, which is Home of Hope for the survivors of gender-based. Or you can contact us with the details at the end of this video. We thank you greatly for your generous support, and thank you once more for making a difference in a child's life.
I love my country, baby. It's a long, it's a long. Now we're doing this. Cloud Diamond. Africa D-Block.
Sweet alone, what a beautiful love. We fall like unto the bone, cause if it well, Usa we go. Sweet alone, what a beautiful love. We fall like unto the bone, cause if it well, Usa we go. Everybody me say well done, if we own this country so strong. Everybody me say stand up, if you like Salon say yeah. Then say yeah. Then say yeah. So good in the morning, the land is just gloomy. is going, the cloud is forming, the cocks are crowing, dew is falling, the bags are coming, everybody running. Inside Switzerland today, the land is yummy. See the mommy they cooking fufu, the party smoking cigarettes. Rajo they watch baby musu, way they find out the country rest. Right in West Africa, on the Atlantic Ocean. Inside this land, so much I can boast of. Look at the good plantation, from the beach I get meditation. Make me not wear this nation, I get L-O-V-E for me alone. Yeah, for me alone. Love is alone, sweet alone. What a beautiful love. We fall like unto the bone, cause if it were Insai we go, sweet alone. What a beautiful love. We fall like unto the bone, cause if it well, Insai we go. Everybody me say well done. If we always country so strong, everybody me say stand up. If you like salon, say yeah, 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 yeah. Then say yeah, 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 yeah. Then say yeah.
I know a L-O-V-E, Sierra Leone was a hello place where sweet like gold. We got diamond box, I silver and gold. So that we make count for the young and old. I mean for Lekki self, help self. I see you come from the bars, you want for boot chest. Peace, love and unity, now ain't for boot fest. Cause the jealousy and grudge, or that don't make sense. Togetherness is one, but wait for we success. So get up and go walk, I sit down for the top. I criticize the government just for mix up. But stack on the pace, so we need for put stuff. Time for hustle for you all, no matter how you struggle the bone. It's life without pain, not easy, not in the zone. Just forget to live in all myself, can go slow. We like to say I go, I not go forget about this home.
Sweet alone, what a beautiful love. We fall like unto the bone, cause if it well, Insai we go. Sweet alone, what a beautiful love. We fall like unto the bone, cause if it well, Insai we go. Everybody me say well done. If we own this country so strong, everybody me say stand up. If you like salon, say yeah, 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 yeah. Then say yeah, 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 yeah. Then say yeah. We all remember say, sweet alone how we own. Each and every one God take care of his own. We all remember say, this country now we own. Each and every one for take care of alone. I will exalt thee, realm of the free. Great is the love where I get for salon. I got enough track of one for maintain this my land. No matter the situation, I get love for salon. I got enough every day, no day pamphlet. Place in a picking go school, make it go land the boo. I don't owe me all like farmer, put the country pattern for any attack. Me the way me boo. I got enough every day, no day pamphlet. Place in a picking go school, make it go land the boo. I don't owe me all like farmer, put the country pattern for any attack. Me the way me boo. Sweet alone, what a beautiful love. We fall like unto the bone, cause if it well, Insai we go. Sweet alone, what a beautiful love. We fall like unto the bone, cause if it well, Insai we go. Everybody me say well done. If we own this country so strong, everybody me say stand up. If you like salon, say yeah, 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 yeah. Then say yeah, 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 yeah. Then say yeah.
Love, joy, on another one. You know me cocoa butter, oh. Nobody love will change up. You don't reconcile me out, I'm not able to refuse her. I love you, now only that's good, they real love. Now you know me gold and me diamond. Now only you are go give everything, no. Me equal to zero without you. Now me don't be you hero. Life is sweet, oh, when you there with the right person, yeah. No more messy around you, oh. Me to you, not to two is to one. Now wrong equation be that you. Hey. I don't dey feel fever, me heart on the pull fire. Doctor say but na for take am easy with love you. Me love it on the catch a fire, baby. Me love it on the catch a fire. 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 Come and solve 'em. Me love it on the catch a fire.
Yes, doc. No, not with tablets. Yeah, just touch me here.
Me love it on the catch a fire. 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 Come and solve 'em. Me love it on the catch a fire. You know me cocoa butter, oh. Nobody no go change 'em. You don't reconcile me out. I'm not able to refuse 'em. I love you now. Only that go the real love. Now you know me gold and me diamond. Now only you I go give everything, no. Me equal to zero without you. Now me don't be you hero. Nowadays, true love no easy forget you. So when you get never all of it to one. He say make I take a seat, I don't want. He say make I take tablets, I don't want. He say make I put cool, I don't want. Gonna love you, I want you. Hey, doctor, tell me me love it on the catch a fire, baby. Me love it on the catch a fire. 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 Come and solve 'em. Me love it on the catch a fire. You know me cocoa butter, oh. Nobody no go change 'em. You don't reconcile me out. I'm not able to refuse 'em. I love you now. Only that go the real love. Now you know me gold and me diamond. Now only you I go give everything, no. Me equal to zero without you. Now me don't be you hero. Hey doctor, hey. Me love you, baby, oh. Hey,
Yes, doc.
me love you,
Not with
baby.
tablets. Yeah, just touch me here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling it. Oh, doc. Yeah.
It's original.
Yeah, doc.